Ladies and gentlemen, we are Queen's Park, downtown Toronto right now for the 1 million March for Children. It's a great turnout of people who want to stand up for kids out here. I'm going to do some interviews as per usual. We're going to march at some point. There's some speeches going on right now. And I'm hearing there's a lot of counter-protesters. I'm seeing kind of some on the fringe right now, like the Queen's Park area, with their trans flags and all that stuff. And, but yeah, I don't know. We're going to see. The march should be interesting. I'm quite excited to get into it. How are you doing, ma'am?
I'm doing great.
I'm on YouTube right now. Would you like to have a conversation?
Yeah, I'll have a conversation.
Awesome. So let's look at your sign here first. Guess who got caught acting sexual in front of an audience full of kids? Not a drag queen. Who is this?
This is Lauren Boebert, one of the Protect the Kids from the America side, and recently she was discovered being given out a hand job to her new boyfriend in a theater that was for Beetlejuice, which was a children's presentation.
Oh wow! So
yeah, but she wants to protect the kids, apparently.
Right, and this is some Republican, I guess.
Yeah.
Okay.
In the States.
And was she on stage or like what?
No, she was in the audience, just giving her, boyfriend a handy on the low down in a public place.
Right.
I guess if you're hetero, you can still be lewd in public.
Yeah.
Yeah, you're allowed. Yeah.
Absolutely. And you feel this relates to why they're.
Yeah, absolutely. Well, the people here also believe what Lauren Boebert believes, that trans people are, a menace or a problem, but the deviance and the inappropriateness around children really came from her and people.
So is it your understanding that
things like that?
Yeah, is it your understanding that people are just here because they don't like trans people? Is that?
Oh no, it's my understanding that these people think that the trans agenda is going to disrupt people and ruin them or something early. Yeah. So it's my understanding that they're here because they're concerned about how kids might internalize this information at a young age and how that might be. Well, they just simply don't want that for their kids, I think is their point. Yeah, exactly. But that's the point, is that children are able to decide for themselves all of the spectrums, and we're no longer putting people into male and female, and you absolutely have to. So my friend, who's not an activist, we went to high school together. She had a child, a little girl, very, not well socialized up until 2 or 3 years old. And then one day she just said she wanted to be named Alex, and that she cut her hair all short. And now this child is thriving because in her inside, when she was born, she was actually a boy, and it erupted in her naturally. And her mom did not put any agenda on her. She lives in Mississauga. She's not someone pushing any agenda. And on this person's own, they came to realize that they would be happier as a boy. So now they are Alex, and this person is very much wanting to protect trans children and trans rights, because her child was suffering when she was told she needed to be a girl, but when she had the freedom to be whoever she wanted, they came alive, and now they're a little happy boy who's doing much better. Wow.
So they're not actually a boy, but they feel like a boy, right? Right. So.
Well, no, they're a boy in their identity. I mean, you and I are going to have a different understanding of whether they're really a boy or not, right?
Right. Biologically, though, it's not. You can't really change that.
Yeah, I mean,
How old's this kid now?
They're like 7.
They're 7.
Yeah, they were super young, and they wanted to be this way.
Yeah, but
for me, that tells you that some people are just born that way.
But I mean,
pushing any agenda is how they arrived that way.
But they're also 7.
Yeah, and they were a despondent young girl until they realized who they really were, and now they're thriving and doing much better in school. So do you have a problem with that?
I thought I was going to be like a famous hockey player. I thought I might be a pirate when I was young. I thought of a lot of things when I was 7. And to confirm that I might be a pirate at age 7, or that I might be the opposite gender at age 7.
You think a pirate or if you think a pirate or what you're going to be when you grow up for your job is the same as their fundamental who you feel you are.
How would a kid know the difference? They're 7.
That's right. And they feel that, and they became that, and they're not thinking about a career, right?
Well, they feel that. Look, they didn't really become that.
And I feel like you're not really interested in taking in the truth of the matter. You want to argue this child's decision, and they're 7 years old. So I feel like you're the one pushing an agenda that they need to be the girl they were born. It's kind of your agenda that's pushing people into wanting to be in a certain way. They have to perform a certain way. Whereas the trans agenda is people are free to be whatever they fucking want. And I think I'm done talking to you.
All right. I guess I'm the asshole. The 7-year-old knows exactly what they're doing, folks. You heard it here. 7-year-olds know exactly what they're doing. That's crazy, man. That's crazy. It's creepy to see how well-spoken these people are, you know? It's like they will explain themselves and actually believe it and not see how they might be encouraging just a perverted idea that might lead to a lot of turmoil in the future for this person. You know, it's just rose-tinted glasses all the time. We got a Trans Liberation Now sign here. A nice fuck off sign. Very cool, very cool. How's the audio, guys? That's the one side, and then we got Menzies here. And on the other side, there's a lot of other parents on the other side there. Hey, man, how's it going? How you been? I'm live right now. How are you?
Good, man. How are you?
I'm good.
Pretty epic.
Yeah. What crosses your mind when you see the rainbow horde of people?
I just think mental illness is a real issue in this country, and you know, it's so great to see all these different cultures coming together for one reason, and that's our children. What they're doing to our kids is just it's not acceptable anymore, and we got to put a stop to it right now.
Absolutely. I mean, what else comes to mind here? Like, how do you think this march is going to go?
Well, when I was thinking about coming down here, I thought that, you know, there might be some issues, but from our side of things, we're always going to be peaceful, just like we were at the convoy, peaceful. And, you know, at the end of the day, we're here to stand shoulder to shoulder for our children, because what they're doing in public schools, teaching them, indoctrinating them with all this nonsense. I'm going to put something really clear for everyone on your live right now. 2 genders, male, female, end of story. That's it.
Yeah. All right. Thanks, bro. You want to tag your Instagram? You make some good stuff.
It's PuckDaddy93, my friends. Honk honk.
Honk honk. That's right. That's right. We got people chanting trans rights or human rights. How's it going? Good. How you doing? I'm on a YouTube live. Did you want to chat real quick? No? Okay. I should go ask Menzies about Hategate. Hey there. Hi. All right. Hey there, guys. Hey, I'm live on YouTube. Does anybody want to chat? Kind of tell me why you're out here today? No. Were you trained not to talk to people? Were you trained not to talk to people, or? No? Okay. Do you want to explain why you're out here today? He's going to ignore me. He's going to ignore me. He's going to be the bigger man and just ignore me like a child. Hi there. I'm live on YouTube. Would you like to have a conversation on what brings you out here today? No? Okay. So far we're seeing the pattern like we saw last time, which is none of these people, they want to chant the same thing over and over again, but they don't want to actually have a conversation, which is kind of typical. Hi there, how are you? Hi, do you want to have a conversation? Hi, no, okay.
Ooh, they're not interested.
Good. Hi, how's it going? Hi. I got a question. What's a trans kid? Anyone? I can't hear you with your mask on, bro.
What?
I can't hear you with your mask on.
Take down your mask.
Yeah, I can't hear you. This is an average day in Toronto. I'd say this is like an average day in Toronto. So they do this technique where they slowly inch up. I think I'm going to go talk to the other side for a bit because I already feel like I need to shower. Hi, I'm live on YouTube. Do you want to chat? What brings you down here today?
I'm here in counter-protest to those that are protesting the education of sexual orientations and the diversity of sexual orientations in the school system.
Okay, so this side is claiming to protect their kids from what they call gender indoctrination. And like, if you had a chance to talk to one of them, why would you say that that they're not protecting kids?
Okay, guys are fascists. Okay. Well, what I would say to you guys, thank you, I appreciate that. What I would say to you is that if you're fighting gender ideology, that's really good start because gender ideology has been something that we have been taught since the beginning of time, and the ideology that has been prevailing has been one of a heteronormative status, one that believes in two genders. But we know that more people exist. We know that people that are intersex exist. We know that people that don't necessarily fit into the biological norm of male and women exist. And those bodies have been ignored for time. And so an ideology, as you're right, has been pushed that man is man and woman is woman. But there's so much more to it than that. And if you would just open up your mind and be willing to learn, you would see that that is existing in nature all around us.
Okay, interesting. So, like, do you think that, like, the majority of people are, like, straight for the most part? And statistically, like, you know, not as many people are gay or trans? Do you think those numbers are off and that, like, maybe there's, like, way more people that are, like, gay and, like, don't fit into the, like, straight identity?
I think if our world wasn't set to make decisions about what you identify as so young, then you wouldn't have to make these decisions. You wouldn't have to care. So, yeah, I do think that there are probably people that are saying that they're straight who actually identify as something else. But I think if you listen to a lot of the people on my side, you'll see a lot of people in general just don't care about like these labels at all. We just want humans to be humans. We just want humans to be able to do what they want to do without people like you coming in and saying we can't do this. If they want to dress how they want to dress, they want to dress how they want to dress. You don't have to label them as a man or a woman. If they want to love who they want to love, that's all. That's all it comes down to. The labels are confusing, but that's your agenda. That is the ideology that has been pushed, is the man and the woman. So we're looking to progress past that. And it's going to be confusing. It's not going to be simple. That's how complex this issue is.
So I want to share just one last thing. On a personal note, I find it a little disturbing that there's this new term that gets popularized, which is like LGBT kids and trans kids. And why that bothers me is because, well, we're kind of sexualizing kids a bit. Like bisexual kid, lesbian kid, gay kid, like we're already assigning them a sexual orientation before they should have a sex life. You know, and I think that's kind of like a concern that the people over here have. What would you say to that?
I agree. The sexualization of children young is perverse, I think. I think children should be children. But if you look at the heteronormative community, we are much more guilty of sexualizing children. You have gender reveal parties right before they're even born. You're decided how they're going to present themselves in the world before they've even been born. You look at little girls and you go, oh, she's going to break so many hearts. And you look at little boys and you go, oh, he's going to break so many hearts. That's sexualizing little kids. And we've just accepted that. You know, that's not what I'm after. I'm not after sexualizing kids, but if you're going to push heteronormative agenda, then we should be able to push the agenda that they can be whoever they want to be, a loving and accepting agenda.
It's getting pretty loud here, but thanks so much for your time. I appreciate it.
Thank you.
Hey, you know, at least she was respectful, okay? At least she was, like, civil and respectful. I don't think she really, you know... I was going to push back on a lot more, but my ears were kind of getting ringing from all the sound. from all the noise.
Institutions of power that go, these are the,
Well, let's take a look at these signs here. Got some PPC signs out here too.
We want to conduct an interview with Jack Big King. We're trying to altering toward abortion. Abortion is racist. Abortion is racist against white people, against black people, against Chinese people.
Hi there, ma'am. How are you? I'm good. I'm live on YouTube. Would you become? No? Okay. Thanks anyway. I like this sign. Stop planting seeds of confusion in our kids.
Abortion is a genocide.
It's a good. I like that. It's okay. So yeah, there is a big crowd of people standing up for children over here. How are you, ma'am?
Very good, thank you.
I'm live on YouTube. Would you be comfortable having a conversation?
Certainly, sure.
Awesome. I am here with.
I'm here just representing my community, the Islamic Foundation of Toronto, the Jannah Masjid. We're from Scarborough.
Amazing. And what brings you out here today?
Save our children. I'm so concerned about the next generation and what they're teaching in our schools. It's horrible. Even the library full of this garbage.
Yeah, absolutely. I was actually just chatting to some people over here with the rainbow flags, and they were saying how it's so beautiful. She has a friend who has a 7-year-old who decided that they're a boy now, and how they just have so much confidence in what the child believes about themselves. What would you say to somebody like this who says, no, my kid says that they're the opposite gender and I believe them?
Well, I believe, and my faith tells me that God created man and woman, a boy and a girl. The gender you were born with is what God chose for you, and that is what we need to teach our children. Be a man or be a girl. Girls can do everything boys can do, and boys can do everything girls can do. So that shouldn't make I want to be a boy or I want to be a girl be an issue. It is, we can't change what we were born with.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I really agree with you. And let's see your sign. It's let kids be kids. Do not snatch their childhood. I really like that because I was saying to someone else over there, what I find so disturbing is they're popularizing this term trans kids and LGBT kids. And it's like they shouldn't be having sex at that age, right?
Going to the bathroom, the same gender bathroom for all the children. This is wrong, absolutely wrong. And we are on a slippery slope and we got to stand up against it.
Yeah.
I don't know what the political agenda is. I'm just here for my children, my grandchildren. I want the best for them.
Amazing. Were you worried, are you concerned about getting called names being out here? Like someone might call you a homophobe or anything like that?
Not at all. I know what I believe. I know that I'm right. I know that's what God created, and I know that we will be victorious. We will let our government know that this is unacceptable.
Absolutely. I have one last question. Were you born in Canada?
No.
And coming to Canada, did you foresee problems like this when you were moving here?
Never. We moved into a beautiful, free country that gave us every opportunity. And I'm now so scared for the next generations, our children who are now born here, raised here, know nothing else. And this reality, it's so scary, so frightening.
Yeah.
Not what we anticipated, not what we dreamed of when we came to this land of opportunity. And it has been a good land for us. Don't get me wrong, I love Canada. But I'm afraid of our education system, and TDSB has just gone way too far. And I have seen it in the library as well. You can't find a book that we learned when we were going to school. You can't find those books in the library anymore. Isn't that a shame? Unbelievable. They only promote this garbage.
Yeah. And sorry, you're the people over there. There's a lot of people like that, unfortunately.
Unfortunately, I don't know where they get their power. They're a very small group, but how they manage to mobilize and get their people out here to change the laws, to change the curriculum, it's amazing. They have people in high places, and that's where we need to get to.
Absolutely. Thanks so much for your time. Thank you so much.
Have a great day.
Yes, thank you. Thank you.
Who are you with?
I'm just with myself.
Oh, you're independent like myself. Okay.
Yeah, Greg Wycliffe. Send a super chat if you want. You can also go to gregwycliffe.com to send a donation there. There's different donation options. Yeah, I do independent journalism. This is all me and my selfie stick. And occasionally my friends help me hold the camera. Shout outs to Igor. Igor's not here today. Man, that was a great interview, wasn't it? Man, that was a great interview. Hi there, ma'am. How are you? I'm good. I'm just live on YouTube right now. Would you like to have a conversation? You don't want to show your face? That's fine. That's fine. Yeah, it's facing this way. So your sign says enough is enough. What brings you out here today?
I'm here looking out for the kids in schools who are trying to brainwash the kids. Because we're here for all the other kids, not only Muslim kids, not Christian kids, all the kids in the world, because we don't want to brainwash them and take the innocence from them. Just let them grow up, and then whatever happens afterward. Let the parents decide how they're going to bring up their kids. Don't brainwash them and poison their minds. That's all.
And in the past, like you're out here with a sign, you're protesting. Have you ever been politically involved like this before?
No, I've never been like that. I'm just here for our kids, our future. The kids are our future, in the future, yeah.
Yeah, no, absolutely. And I've gone to protests before, and sometimes the protests are characterized as like far right or racist or homophobic or all this nonsense. Are you worried at all about like being labeled like that?
Myself?
Yeah.
I'm not sure. No, I don't think so.
Good. Awesome. And finally, what goes through your mind when you see like the rainbow people over there and they're so aggressively against us, like you?
I just want to let them know that we don't hate them. We don't hate them at all. Let them be who they are, and let their kids grow up to be who they are. So we don't hate them. We have nothing against them. Just people. We're peaceful here. We're not trying to do anything bad. We're just here for our kids to grow up and let them. We want to have the freedom to bring our kids the way we want to bring them out. We just want freedom in our life too. Just not for them, for our kids too. That's all. And I'm not sure if they feel that we're racist against them, but we have no hate against them. Yeah. Just let them be, and we'll be the way we are. That's all.
Amazing. Thanks so much for your time. I appreciate it. It's a nice chat. Hi there.
Where do I recognize you from? The internet? Yeah?
I am on the internet. Yeah, I'm live on YouTube right now. Yeah.
Okay, right on.
Yeah.
What's the name?
Greg Wycliffe.
Okay, yeah. And had you begun this before 2020 or,
I ran for actually the People's Party of Canada in 2019, and I started to post some videos then, and then Parkdale High Park. Yeah.
Parkdale.
Yeah, it was rough.
Oh my God.
When I was running for PPC in 2019, I had an 18-year-old volunteer shouted at and intimidated, said, "Get out of here, racist!" I had, tons of old ladies be like, "Oh my God, you're a crazy fascist!" I had a man of Indian descent from India who had vegetables thrown at him, all for just having a PPC button on his chest. And I was also at a debate where I had grown men trying to represent the Green Party and the NDP Party turn their backs on me anytime I spoke, like children. And that's when I realized this problem is a lot worse than I thought. And then, of course, COVID happened, and then I did convoy interviews. But
you were in Ottawa.
Yeah, I do want to keep getting interviews, though. Did you want to hop on the live? I'm live right now.
No.
Okay.
No,
that's all right. That's right. I got to keep moving. That's all.
Thank you so much.
Yeah, no
Keep
problem.
doing it.
Absolutely. Cheers. Yeah, yeah.
My name is Cheryl.
Yeah, I'm doing well. I'm just live right now trying to get some interviews. Yeah,
I
yeah.
wanted to ask you a question.
What's your question?
What do you think is going to happen to Canada?
What do I think is going to happen to Canada? I think we're at a crossroads generally right now. I think that either people will start fighting it against this indoctrination, this kind of globalist policies, and we're really going to find our backbone and find our ball sack, part of my language, but that's the best way to think of it. And I think the beginning of that is happening. I think it's going to be a long path forward to actually start to take this country back. But I think the consciousness is starting to rise. And yeah, like we've been swinging to the far left for too long. It's going to start coming back. And because if the other option is not good, it's not good. And so, yeah, we're going to make sure that happens.
So what is your assessment of the situation here right now?
I'm trying to figure that out. I'm trying to interview people and kind of like get both sides of the story, hopefully. So I'm going to keep going, okay? Thanks so much. Appreciate it. Appreciate it.
You look very nice today.
Thank you. Thank you. I'm live on YouTube. Did you want to chat?
Yeah.
Sure.
Okay. Hey guys.
We're live right now. How's it going?
Good. How are you?
I'm great. I'm great. And what brings you down here today?
Basically, just to
Protect the kids.
protect the kids.
I drank her here.
Okay, awesome.
Yeah.
So we're at a protest. Have you been politically involved in the past?
Yeah. I saw you,
Okay.
James Saab.
That's
Remember?
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. You give me a high five.
Yeah. Awesome. And I saw someone over there who was saying that I have a friend who has a 7-year-old, and they say that they're the opposite gender, and like it's just made them so empowered. And I asked them, they're 7, and so what would you say to somebody like that who thinks that a 7-year-old can just decide at the drop of the hat that they're an opposite gender?
For me, I feel like anybody can be what they want to be or who they want to be, right?
Yeah.
And whether you're 7 years old, 14, or even older, that's completely up to you, right? And you have to believe what you believe, right?
What do you mean, like, should they indoctrinate the kid to make them believe, that book in the school was very bad? It's about indoctrinating the kid.
Right.
It's about it's like a Playboy book, basically.
Right.
Yeah, and he probably asked you if you think that's right, isn't it?
No, I don't think that's right.
The indoctrination in schools, right?
Yeah, I don't think that's right.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's kind of ironic because they say we don't want to put kids in a box.
Yes.
But also, here are a bunch of different boxes you can go in. You can be a demigirl, you can be a demi-boy, you can be all this.
Yes, exactly.
Awesome. Well, I mean, what is it? What goes through your mind when you kind of see like the counter protesters here, and they're very adamant about you guys trying to stand up for kids?
I don't believe that. For me, I think standing up for kids is the right thing. And I'm surprised that there are counter protesters that don't agree with that. Because at the end of the day, what I believe is children is the future, right? And I'm surprised that there is somebody going against that. So.
Yeah. I mean, the question I try to ask them is like, what is a trans kid?
Yes.
Because they use that term a lot, and it's like, well, what is that? And they'll even use the term LGBTQ plus kid,
Yes.
and it's like, what is that? What comes to mind when you hear those terms?
For me, I think there's no such thing as trans, gay, lesbian. I think we're all the same. Everybody's human. Everybody's a person. Everybody has every right to be who they want to be. So that's what I believe.
Amazing. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you so much.
Hey, good to see you, man.
You interviewed the president's Christian,
I'm just live right now. Oh, is that mine? Oh. Yeah, thanks.
Yeah, you did a full interview with Christian. I think it was 2-3 weeks ago.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah, so same group.
So you're down here at PPC. What brings you down here?
Well, again, it's to support the crowd that's speaking out against the sexualization of children in the school education system.
Absolutely. How's it going, So what goes through your mind when you see this big rainbow mob over here?
Well, the question is, why do they want to transition kids so badly? Like, are these the kind of like knowledge the kids should know at a very early age? Why are they so supportive of it?
Yeah.
So that's like my biggest question is, what is it they, their agenda?
Yeah.
Like, leave kids alone and let them be an innocent child. I mean, there's plenty of time in adulthood to explore sexuality, any different forms of way.
Yeah, absolutely. I talked to one woman who said, hey, I have a friend who has a 7-year-old and she now thinks she's a boy and she's like much more confident now. So I think it's an amazing thing. And I think it's kind of like funny for them to be so confident in this 7-year-old and what they think when they're 7. What would you say to someone like that who has that opinion that the child knows best?
Well, the simple response would be, would you let a 7-year-old smoke a cigarette, let that kid decide whether to smoke weed or not, to get a tattoo? Well, especially tattoo, that's a permanent. So that's like something you do to your body on a permanent. It's very difficult to reverse. So same thing, if that same kid said he or she wishes to have a tattoo, well, would the parents say yes or no to that? And that's pretty much the best way to sum it up.
That's a good point. Hey, thanks so much, man.
No problem.
Cheers.
Hey, Greg.
Hi there.
Diagolon.
Yeah,
Chris,
yeah.
nice to meet you.
I'm live on YouTube right now.
Is it okay if I should be working right now, if it's okay?
Yeah.
I just want to say hi.
Cool, man. Yeah, appreciate it.
I recognize you from Diagolon. Yeah, I
Hell
watch
yeah.
you guys all the time.
Yeah, that's great.
Appreciate
It's
it.
good stuff. Hi, how are you?
I'm fine. How are you?
I'm good. I'm live on YouTube right now.
Okay, yes,
Do-
you are YouTube. Okay.
Do you want to have a conversation?
Yes, I want to conversation. I just want the education should be educate our children and leave our children alone. So they have, so they are male or female. They are only got decided by them. So leave our children. Don't make them confused. So that's the thing.
Yeah, I really like your sign, parents know best, because I talked to somebody over there in the rainbow crowd, and she talked about how she has a friend who has a 7-year-old, and the 7-year-old thinks that they're the opposite gender, and that they have all this confidence now that they think they're the opposite gender. So in other words, they believe that the kids know best. The kids know what's best for them. How would you respond?
How could it possible? You know, in Canada, we are here. We are doing the test of G1 at the 16 years old. We cannot drive the car up till we are got get the G2 after the 8th month of G1. Okay?
Yeah.
So how could it possible? They a 7 years old decided, oh, he or she. How could it possible? And how can they do the surgery of the parents without the parent consent? It is very wrong. That's the thing. That's my concern.
Absolutely.
And also, I'm an educator too, and I know that mostly the kids know what are they, but when you impose something on them, they become confused. So that's the thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And what really creeps me out is they're using these terms, trans kids and LGBT kids. I mean, how do you respond when you hear terms like that?
The kids are kids. That's why our slogan is, leave the kids alone. Leave the kids alone. Don't label them. They are just innocent kids. Okay?
Yeah.
They are just innocent kids. Let
Yeah.
them learn, let them play, let them discover. So they will be whatever they are. Leave them alone. Don't confuse them. Don't impose their education on them. Don't make them confused. That's the thing. I just want to come and share.
Awesome. Thanks so much for your time. I do want to ask, were you born in Canada?
No, I'm not born. I immigrated 23 years before.
Okay. And did you ever imagine seeing this here in Canada?
No, I cannot imagine. I came here for a better life here.
Yeah.
And I love to be Canadian. My children are born here, they are Canadian, and I want my future here. So I do not want to Canada like this. I want, should be free. Our children are free. So that's why.
And what is it like when you're seeing that it's not just these rainbow people over here, but it's people like Justin Trudeau, Jagmeet Singh, like, so many institutions pushing this stuff?
Yeah, that's the thing we know. We want, the children go to the school, they got the education. I love the Canadian education when they are teaching something positive. They are making them confident people. benefit for the society, not the people like this. Oh, that I am. They're disturbing them. What I am, they are not going towards the best. They are confused.
Yeah.
That's the thing I know.
Yeah. And are you worried about being called like homophobic being out here today or transphobic?
Sorry.
Are you worried about like getting called names like homophobic or transphobic for?
Of course, I'm afraid. I am afraid because we are all Canadians.
Yeah.
We are all Canadians. We are all human beings. We love each other. But don't impose the thing on us.
Yeah.
We are not imposing my beliefs. I do not impose somebody else.
Yeah.
Whatever my beliefs are for me, but don't impose the thing. That's the thing. You are whatever you like. You follow it. Awesome. I do not say okay to be like me. No, I do not say that to be like me because they have their own choices. So I have my own choice. Don't impose me.
Don't impose me. That's right. That's right. Thank you so much for your time.
Thank you. Which one is your channel?
It's Greg Wycliffe. So yeah, you'll.
Thank you for the people like you. We can heard the everywhere. Thank you. So nice. So nice.
No problem. If you want to send a donation, you can go to gregwycliffe.com. Thanks for watching, guys. I'm going to try to. Oh, you know what? I'm going to plug in my phone right now, so we don't lose battery. Usually, Igor reminds me of that, but. So yeah, I'm hearing a lot of counter protesters like starting to encircle or kind of start to mobilize kind of around the Queen's Park area here. Let's plug you guys in. Yeah, this is interesting. This is interesting. How are we doing, guys? You can see some police here. Mel Klomp, thanks for the $10. Much respect for you, sir, from the Dyke in Denver. That's amazing. Thanks for the $10. So yeah, we got a line of cops here separating, I guess, the counter protesters.
Kids' rights are human rights! Kids' rights are human rights!
Hey guys, how's it going?
How's it going, my friend?
I'm doing well. I'm live on YouTube right now.
Hey.
Did anyone want to hop on and share their thoughts? Yeah? Do you want to all chat? We can kind of go over and do a little group combo.
Yeah, let's do it.
Cheers.
What's your name, brother?
Greg Wycliffe.
Greg, I know you.
Yeah.
You're the opposition guy, right?
Controlled opposition, that's right. Yeah, hell yeah. Hell yeah.
I was watching your show for a while until I went blind and stopped going on Facebook.
Oh yeah.
But I was.
You went blind?
Yeah, like 2 months ago or so.
Where's your stick? You don't go.
I'm not playing that game, baby. Yeah, exactly.
Oh, okay.
So I'm here in my uniform, as you can see.
Can we broadcast this? Because I'm live right now.
Yeah, man.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
Here, actually, you want to hold that for a second?
What is this? A microphone?
This is the microphone. Can we take a couple steps that way?
This way?
Yeah, just this way, right here. This way. All right. So I am here with, what's your name?
Matthew
and
Serena.
Get close together, get cozy. And what brings you down here today?
I guess we're here to support parental rights. That's what my knowledge, what we're doing here.
Yeah. And how about you? Can you hold that for a second?
Yeah, same thing. Like, we have kids. We don't like some of the rhetoric that's coming about how we don't actually have a say in A, their education, and B, the kinds of values that we're going to raise them with. Like, it's not subject to the opinions of strangers, to be honest, or the school. And also you shouldn't be able to keep secrets with my kids about anything, right? So that's a big one too.
Sorry, shouldn't be able to what?
Keep secrets, like that policy of the TDSB and other school boards where they're like, if your kids want to socially transition, but they're saying you're not a safe person, we're going to help you with that transition, but there'll be no mediation, no support from your family. We're not going to tell them. Just like setting a precedent that is extremely concerning to me as somebody with young kids. So that's why I'm here too. I don't like that at all. Awesome. And I'm not going to put up with that shit. Excuse me.
I mean, this seems to be quite a divisive issue. Like there's so many counter protesters, it seems, but at the same time, you couldn't even imagine something like this happening like 5 or 10 years ago.
Last year.
Yeah, even last year.
But see, I think most of people agree with us, but the media was saying before we got here that this is an anti-gay protest. So that got me really pissed too, because it's the same thing that you hear all the time when you're disagreeing politically with the progressive left on anything. It's like their rhetoric goes to 15 and you're a hate monger, racist, fascist, Nazi. It's not tempered at all. And that's another red flag. Like, I can disagree with you all day. We can talk about it, but you're not going to start going there to attend immediately as soon as I'm like, I'm not sure I'm comfortable with some of the things you're saying. And even the media is playing into the division by saying this is an anti-gay protest. Obviously, that's going to bring so many people out who are going to be hysterical about that, and that's not fair either. Total mischaracterization of what this is. It's on purpose, actually.
And it's just such a gross mischaracterization, right? And they use it to intimidate, of like, hey, don't come out because you'll get branded as a fascist. Yeah. They literally say that. Yeah. Are you a fascist?
No. And for me personally, like, I don't even know the details of the politics of all this. But for me, I it's the same as during COVID. It's like what we were just saying, when they tried to put us in a box that we didn't belong in. That's kind of why I'm here, in a sense, is that I was wearing pink before pink was pink. Right. And I was focusing on health before health was health. And you know, that's kind of what brings me out here. I'm not here for the political concepts, but
yeah. And you bring up a great point. Like, this is a protest, it's political. Have you guys been politically involved in the past?
No. I haven't, personally.
Well, I was against a lot of the mandates and the vaccine stuff. So in that way, is that political? I mean, I'm anti-fascist, actually. So is that a political, thing?
I didn't see that as politics. That was like, well, it ended up being politics, but it was more like, I work on health, and it wasn't lining up. So to me, it was real life. It wasn't politics,
Yeah,
it's kind of.
It was bigger than that. It was bigger than.
I've always been someone who's felt bigger than politics. Politics is a small game, and it seems to be what they're trying to use to separate me from my fellow Canadians here who are yelling for whatever reason they're yelling for. I don't think they truly know why they're yelling. But yeah.
I talked to one woman over there, and I talked to a couple of people, but one of them was quite eloquent and saying, hey, I have a friend who has a 7-year-old kid, and they think they're the opposite gender now, and like they've just lit up with all of this confidence. And essentially, they have the belief that children know best. Where a lot of parents over here are like, no. Parents know best. I guess, like, what would you say to somebody like that who says, no, this 7-year-old like knows that they're the opposite gender, and like we should encourage them?
I mean, I think you should have the freedom to raise your kid however you want. I think the issue that I have is that I'm not imposing that you can't do that by state force. Like, you can do that if you want. I don't agree with it. Maybe I'll be a bit judgy about it, actually. But I would never involve the school or the state to say you can't do that. And that's what they're actually doing on our end, is saying, demonizing and saying that they're going to separate us if we don't agree with their kind of thing. So it's actually like, you do you, I'll do me, and we'll see how the cards fall in the end, And I disagree with it, but they're allowed to do that.
I would agree with that. I do work with like my personal perspectives, I do work with the idea of where is the line on all these topics, and there's got to be a topic that we all can agree on, and I don't know which one that's going to be because we're not landing on that topic yet. I think that topic's going to be the crime and the bail reforms. I think that'll be the topic where we can't have these types of counter arguments in a sense. Would you agree with that personally?
That you're worried about getting to the point where more laws are passed where...
No, more like there's going to be a topic that we have to agree on, because all these topics, I think I'm saying it correctly. I think that there's probably like a handful, like this trans stuff, COVID, there is climate change. Yeah, climate change, exactly. And then I think the one that's they're gonna avoid. But if we just all have a actual conversation on the bail reforms and letting people go.
I gotta go. You guys are good. Stick together. I gotta go to work.
See you soon, dude. Do you agree with that? That there's going to be that one topic that we can agree on and come together on? Is that ever going to happen?
You know, that's a great question, and you would think that this would be one of them. You know, you would think that protecting kids and kind of not isolating, but protecting them from ideas that are sexual in nature, fundamentally sexual, fundamentally like, hey, what's your sex life? Like, how do you swing? Like, why is that relevant? You know, like should we not just be teaching them about the basics of biology and blah, 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 blah? That's why it seems totally irresponsible.
Even if you're explaining it to them, like, they're confusing for adults. They're extremely nuanced, and to kind of ham-fist it in there at 3 and 4, because my kids are really young. They're 3 and they're already talking about these things with them. So sometimes people tell me it's not happening, and I'm like, I'm literally seeing it happen. And it's just like, at this age, it's a little introduction to the idea that you can change and you can be something else if you want. And it's just like some little flippant thing, and it's like, this is a very specific, nuanced conversation for adults and my kids have no idea what that is at all, what you're talking about, you know?
And to answer your question, is there going to be any issue we can decide upon? I don't really have I have a cynical answer, basically, which is, you know, again, you would think that protecting kids would be something we could agree on. You would think that the mandates, like opposing the COVID mandates, would be something we could agree on. But we didn't even agree on bodily autonomy. That wasn't even something that people were down with. And I tell you, I'm repeating this a lot, which is I'm finding more and more in politics, it's not really so much about the ideology or your values or where you are in the political spectrum. It has a lot to do with psychology. It's a lot to do with psychology and just like what people believe or what they're told to believe or what they're brainwashed to believe.
Or what we're led not to believe.
Yeah.
Which is like when I hear these conversations, whether it's climate change, no matter what, in the end, when I sit there, because I listen to both, I listen to University of Toronto, and I force myself to listen to left-wing perspectives, or left-wing, whatever that is, liberal perspectives, and I'm always waiting for that word to come out. And I know this might be controversial, but when you're talking about solutions, I'm always waiting for the word of God is technically going to be the answer. And I know that might be a
Not from a liberal. You'll never hear that from a liberal.
But what is, because they're always missing, like, what's the answer? What is the answer? Every time I'm listening, I spend hours listening to this stuff. And I'm just waiting. It's like, why are you resisting, even if it's like reasonable conversation, why are we resisting that one conversation? And it seems to be, like you're saying, a psychological perspective to not bring that into the resolution to all the problems that we're facing. I know that might be a bit of a controversial topic, but that's my
I mean, yeah, it shouldn't be controversial because that rainbow flag operates exactly like a religion. If you don't have certain beliefs, you're a sinner. You're not just like wrong, you are a morally bad person. That operates exactly like a religion. And so I do think that people who are opposing this stuff need to embrace the God thing, and we're seeing a lot of Muslims out here today who are doing just that, right? So
You know what's interesting too, like remember the gay flag, which is over there. That was they've changed it to the trans flag, and if you look up what all the stripes mean, there's no mention of gays. So they erased women, right? But like we have no definition anymore. Next is the gays. Trust me, they're going to be like, that's not an identity that exists. It's just like all trans now, and it's like it takes over everything. Men, woman, gay, sexualities. They're not categories anymore. It's all just different levels of transing. It's very interesting because that trans flag is not the gay flag. So where are the gays?
where are the gays? Where'd they go? Where'd they go?
I would say any gay person that's on that side is a useful idiot because next year they're not going to exist.
Well, I mean, and it's so funny, right? Because the gay movement did do a lot to be like, hey, men can be a little bit feminine, women can be a little bit masculine, and now they're like, nope, nope.
You don't fit into the rigid stereotype. You're the opposite gender inside.
Yeah, it's like they're enforcing gender roles. It's all very ironic and silly.
Yeah, basically. Yeah.
Anyway, thanks so much for your time, guys. I appreciate it.
It's nice to meet you.
Yeah, you as well. You as well. Thanks for coming up. Absolutely. You want a photo?
We're dags.
We're dags. Let's
We need a photo.
Let's get a photo. Oh, you want a picture too?
Please, Stuart, stay with me for about 3 months.
I'm just live right now. Okay, so I don't know if you're on
No. All right.
All good? Oh. Okay. Awesome. Thanks for your time. Oh, nice. Good stuff. I'm going to keep moving. Let's get to see it. Awesome. Guys, how's the audio? How's the audio here? Yo, I'm just live right now. Hey guys, I'm here with Harry. Yo, Harry, thanks so much for covering the Hategate story on True North. What are your thoughts of what you're seeing today at the protest?
Well, I think this maneuver to encircle the 1 million march crowd here from these counter-protesters is it says a lot. You know, I mean, they're trying to intimidate the group that have gathered here. Despite that, everybody's remained peaceful. I think the idea that
by the counter-protesters. So, man, I'm worried about this overheating, unfortunately. But I'm going to keep blowing on it. Hey, man, how are you? Oh, sorry. Hey, how are you? I'm live right now. You want to chat? How are you today?
Good. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. I'm doing well. Are you here to stand up to protect kids, or what brings you down here today?
Yeah, definitely. I work for an organization that defends and just knowing that there's not a lot of transparency in schools and we're all taxpayers, like it matters. These kids should just be going and learning practical life skills, not being confused by their gender. And we know that the amount of kids identifying as the whole thing has doubled in one generation. So something is going on. And yeah, I stand with this group that, leave our kids alone. Parents need to be the first educators. Parents need to be able to know what's going on in classrooms and to know, to have a say in what values their kids are being taught. Check out the sensor scale.
She's looking at me weird because I'm blowing on my phone to try and cool it down. I was talking to somebody on the counter-protesting side, and she was saying, well, I have a friend who is a 7-year-old. Well, they said, I have a friend who has a kid who identifies as the opposite gender now, and now they're just thriving. And I'm like, how old are they? 7. And I'm like, 7. And I'm like, okay. And it's just, it's crazy that they have, basically they believe the kid knows best, right? If you had a friend who believed that or had that experience, like what would you say to them to help them understand your perspective?
Well, it's all antidotes, which is kind of frustrating. When I was a kid, I thought I was Celine Dion, so like
I can see that. I can see that for you.
Thank you. Yes, and I mean it wasn't totally untrue. No, but just that idea that they're kids and like kids shouldn't be trusted to. Or like they shouldn't bear the weight of responsibility of making these decisions at such a young age. There's a really great sign up there that's like I'm not even allowed to drink. Just let me be a kid. I don't need to make these decisions as a child. And I think that's the biggest thing. Like why are we so quick to push these concepts on children who aren't even allowed to go on field trips without their parents' consent? So if your kid wants to play, your girl wants to play with trucks and wear green shirts, it doesn't make her a boy. And the funny thing is that the ideology is so binary. Like, it doesn't need to be like a life-changing decision if a kid is wanting to like play with things that are different gender stereotypes. I just think we've gone crazy. Let kids be kids.
So you ran for politics, so I got a tougher question for you. Okay, yeah. So, there are a lot of Muslim parents out here, and one of the leaders, Camille, has kind of come out to say like we disagree with your lifestyle, you disagree with ours, and like we're gonna start protesting pride events. And some people were kind of concerned because it's like, well, this is sounding anti-gay now, right? And I mean, I'll share kind of a little bit of my opinion first, which is, how did we get to this situation? It was by being afraid of being called anti-gay. Like that's how this legislation got to this point, because we were so afraid of being called anti-gay. And I guess the other question to people who are concerned is, when are we going to start to criticize the LGBTQ plus then? Like we're sterilizing kids in school potentially. So like when is the time to start, criticizing? And there's a difference between hate and criticism. Thank you very much. So what are your thoughts on all that?
Well, yeah, I think that any idea we should be able to criticize it. Anything that's true will come to the light. But if we're not allowed to talk about it, I mean, the bigger context is it's Canada, and if you disagree with a certain one way of living, then that can be considered hate speech. And there are things before the courts right now that are appeals on people disagreeing with gay sex or whatever.
Which is crazy because it's just like disagreeing. It's not nothing violent, nothing anything.
Yeah, I mean, with some of these topics, we have chilling.
I've been wanting to be effective, and honestly, I've been a little overwhelmed. Like my friend, just to see what's happening to all the political prisoners, it's really kind of like it's not very funny. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, I mean, I work for the Justice Center, so I know.
Right.
A lot of these stories.
Are we back? I think we're back. But you were saying you're a Christian. And is that something that kind of like animates you to come here as well?
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, I think that it's interesting how, it's a certain worldview that I hold, and it comes with a biblical doctrine, and some people will have variants on theological beliefs, but I believe that God didn't create people as a mistake. I believe that and I think that's why I fundamentally disagree. Like why it's easy for me to come out in support of this protest is because any message that's telling young people or anybody that they were born a mistake should be easy to oppose. So, and that is rooted in my belief in God and Jesus and His creation of humanity, and so.
I actually really like the way you frame that. They're born as a mistake. That's kind of how they're. That's an interesting way to frame it, yeah.
That's why I think it's impossible for this to be the wrong side of history, because when has it ever worked out well for us to be like, oh, you were a mistake, you weren't created on purpose, let's mutate and mutilate you in order to achieve some kind of outcome. You can't. It's all gonna be counterfeit, it's going to come back void, and it's going to create destruction in people's lives. And so
and just like think about how there's so much to like tear down their viewpoint, because it's like, think about how traumatizing it is to tell a child, like, hey, Timmy, you were born in the wrong body, Timmy. Like, whoa, Timmy, whoa. Did you ever think about that? Whoa.
So cruel. Yeah, it's really cruel. And you know, like, I don't encourage people to become transgender, but if you're older in those and you want to make that decision as somebody with a fully formed frontal cortex, that's a lot different than as a 7-year-old, as you said. And we don't even know, like, we do know, but we haven't been able to study yet what these outcomes and consequences will be. I was talking to a nanny yesterday, and she met someone on the playground who said that they're going to call their kid it and name it and just refer to it as kid until it decides what its name and gender wants to be, and it's 2 years old. So you're referring to your child as an inanimate object until it decides how it wants to exist in this world. That's not going to go well for you. That's not going to turn out okay. That child is going to grow up with problems. In Jesus' name, I pray that it does not, but that's a tough, yeah.
And I mean, what really bothers me about this other rainbow side too, I was talking to a guy at the beginning, actually that wasn't live, I actually recorded that locally, but I was saying, like, hey, what about the detransitioners? What about the many examples of when things go horribly wrong? And it's like they want to believe that there is no downside at all. It's so frustrating. And, you know, what crosses your mind when you see this wall of rainbow people who are, I don't know, indoctrinated, misled? And some of them are like well-spoken and sound really good meaning, you know? It's how do you think we can bridge this divide or kind of like, you know, shake them out of it? Or is that impossible?
I don't know. I guess.
How are you going to save the world? Tell us, Allie.
I do think it comes down to conversations and compassion, because we are seeing the world from completely different angles. Yeah.
The politicians aren't helping, that's for sure.
It's too much to their advantage. But yeah. I don't know. It's like keep asking questions, keep trying to have conversations, don't be confrontational. There's a lot of brokenness, and you can see like the anger and the emptiness in so many people's eyes. And I think love is always the answer, and it's probably going to take a lot of time. I'm not trying to just sound cliche, but like really like loving and journeying with people through it and being as patient as you'll probably have to be, and also just letting some of it go. Like,
true.
We can't change everybody's mind, but you have to know what you stand for and what your line is. And I think that this crowd shows people who have said, I'm not going back from this line. And I wish it was even more people, but you know, we got to start somewhere. And I was thinking as I was walking here, like, we don't need everyone. We just need like a remnant of people who are willing to be those stopgaps that go to the teachers, go to the principals, raise some havoc in the best way, in a peaceful way, because I know this is being recorded, and who are willing to keep going and challenging and saying, what are you talking to my kids about? Why did you get all these, where do these books come from? So, yeah, be the stopgap, people. Know your line.
Thank you so much for your time. You want to plug your social media too? No?
It's okay.
No? Okay.
No.
Okay.
See you at the next protest.
Yeah, see you next time, exactly. Thanks again. Cheers.
See you.
The phone is really hot, guys, so I'm trying to cool us down. I hope the audio is all right. We got a mountain of people on the statue here. Lots of people out here today. Lots of people out here. Sorry. Hi there. How you doing, sir? I'm doing well. I'm live on YouTube. Did you want to have a conversation? No? Okay.
Those letters stand for parents and first educators.
Sorry about that. Sorry.
How can we save the children of this country?
gender ideologues and other left-wing ideologues. Those government officials who think they are the fight for education for our children. How do we fix this mess? The total disaster that currently afflicts Canadian schools. Seeing that we are here today in front of the Ontario legislature, I'm going to focus on the Ontario prevention of this problem. And the biggest problem is not the teachers, it's not even the school board, it's not even the Ontario government. The biggest problem is the parents are far too complacent. We allowed this situation to get this bad. You let this happen. I let this happen. We let this happen. And even though you're right, they are wrong, how did we let the come of gender ideology get as far as they have? Yes, scientifically we are on the right side. There are, after all, two sexes, male and female. And yes, when it comes to morality and compassion, we are also on the right side. After all, despite what the gender ideologists say, it has never happened in the history of the human race that a child is born into the wrong body. No child has ever been born into the wrong body. And so, polls now confirm this, that when it comes to issues such as gender ideology and parental notification and parental consent, the numbers are in our favor. Supposedly we live in a democracy. So how has the race minority outmaneuvered us, the parents? Even though the gender ideologies are a small minority, they are influential and determined. They never stop. They never rest. They never sleep. They are relentless. And what about our side? Most of us, most of you, have been totally in the dark and ignorant about what is going on. And those of us that saw the problem have been complacent too and not engaged enough. It's the complacency of ordinary parents and our friends that allow the gender ideologists to hijack the entire education system. While most parents have been asleep, some of us saw what is coming. I have been active on these issues since 2011. Indeed, I recognize many of you here from the rallies and protests against Kathleen Wynn's sex ed curriculum in 2015. Thinking back to those days, I think of the many groups. Probably the most prominent of these groups were the Chinese community. And they knew before us just how vicious the various anti-family and totalitarian ideologies can be. The same is true of another group that experienced the evils of communist ideology, and I'm speaking about the Canadians who came here from Eastern Europe, from the former Soviet Union and Poland, and others. These new Canadians know what it is like to live in a country governed by a wicked ideology. Everything you are taught by the government is a lie. Many Muslim Canadians of various national origins also got involved in 2015. South Asians, including Christian Sikhs, were also prominent back in 2015. I cannot mention the South Asians without giving any credit to my Punjabi friend from Brampton, Mr. Dr. Sodhi. Not only organized his own Sikh community, but also managed Greater Toronto, outstanding Dr. Miriam Grossman. The rallies of 2015 and other organizational efforts built the foundation for the events that are taking place today.
I'm just cooling down in the shade right now, cooling the phone down. So that's why I'm chilling here. Good view here, though. Good vantage point of the crowds.
Leave our kids alone! Leave our kids alone! Leave our
kids alone. Leave our kids alone.
Anything for the parents and children of Ontario. It will only happen when forced to be afraid of the parents. When forced feels like it's pulled off on the parents, maybe then we will see the action.
Thanks.
Parents here today show up and make their right to protest, but with the crowd twice the size. And again, it's even more showing up. And again, maybe then just more will act. And then, dear friends, it's up to you. Today is just the beginning. For the sake of our children and grandchildren and their parents and their children, please don't stop.
Leave our kids alone. Leave our kids alone. Leave our kids alone. Leave our kids alone. Leave our kids alone.
Families, Canadians, we have been called a hate protest. Let us show them what love is. Love, not hate. Don't indoctrinate.
Love, not hate. Don't indoctrinate. Love, not hate. Don't indoctrinate.
Leave our kids alone.
Leave our kids alone. Leave our kids alone. Leave our kids alone. Leave our kids alone. Leave our kids alone.
They're chanting. They are chanting their groups. Let us show them what chanting is. Leave our kids alone. 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 Leave our kids alone.
Leave our kids alone. Leave our kids alone. Leave our kids alone.
Leave our kids alone. Leave our kids alone.
Hey there, brother. Very powerful, very powerful. I'm live on YouTube right now. Would you mind having a quick conversation?
Yeah, sure.
Amazing. What's your name, sir?
My name is Mazen Sukari.
Sukari.
Yeah.
And are you like one of the leaders of this protest, or did you just come up and grab the mic?
No, I am a strategic advisor to the movement on strategy and direction. Yeah.
That's amazing. And have you been involved in politics before?
I have not, but I am Lebanese, and as a Lebanese, you're like born into certain DNAs. It's always political. It's always about a conspiracy happening, and somehow we kind of identified who's who and what's what. And I honestly feel sorry when I see radicalism starting taking shape, and communities that are innocent and that are good and that are all about love, but at the end of the day, they're controlled by radicals who capitalize and hijack their emotions to make them think they're something and they're apart from the community, and that's not the case. This is a pure, classic, textbook case of radicalism. They have nothing to do with it. It's those minds that have tried to brainwash them before trying to brainwash us.
That's right. I talked to a woman on the rainbow side, and she was saying she has a friend who has a 7-year-old who now identifies as the opposite gender, and how they're thriving. In other words, they believe that the kids know best, right? And I believe the people who are standing up for children are like, no, parents know best. So if you were to, what would you say to someone like that?
And I hope the LGBTQ community is listening to me. I come from a background of marketing. That background of marketing taught me something called visibility and availability. It's like a product, like a Pepsi. You start showing imagery everywhere and you become visible everywhere, and then you bring the product to the audience, to the people who want to drink it, in this case, to the people you want to convert, and it's kids. This is another classic case of visibility and availability on vulnerable minds, pure minds that have not even developed yet. You can influence them any which way you want. And guess what? In Africa, militias did the same thing, and it was called toy soldiers. And they started recruiting 4, 6, and 7, and 11 years old and making them kill under certain indoctrination, and was all a lie. And right now, we're witnessing in Canada toy soldiers.
You bring up a great point, and if you're in marketing and advertising, you know there are very specific laws about advertising to children. There's a very specific rules. Hey, because they're more vulnerable, they're more gullible, they're kids, right? And it's funny how that does not translate to this education, which is like, well, how is this really relevant to a kid being educated, right? Like it's almost like they're setting them up for some sort of like sex life in the future when they're minors. So
absolutely, that's the influence. I remember one of the national NGOs. One of the NGOs was saying that a kid was being so influenced by the environment that she's in that she thought she's engaging in play when they were raping her, but they were programming her mind to think it's play. What do you think happens when you bring into the classroom exhibitions of certain kind to brainwash the kid? This is not you. This is radicalism. This is terrorism. This is extremism. We've witnessed it all over. Don't let it happen in Canada because it will lead to segregation.
Absolutely. And it's really inspiring to see. You said that you've never really been in politics in the past, and there's a lot of like Muslim parents out here today. It's inspiring to see people getting involved for the first time. And how do you think that? Where do you think that momentum is going to go? What do you think people should be doing to try and continue to build this momentum?
Well, first, I just want to say,
because the media and the politicians aren't helping.
Absolutely, right? I think right now, and now we talk to politicians. This is a voting arena. This is elections. Hear them. They will not vote for you if you're taking away their kids. They are awake. You have slipped bills, slipped lobbies right from underneath their feet because they trust the government, because they trust an educational institution. They trust a teacher who now hides and lies from a parent what a name might be while indoctrinating. So, in my opinion, our next step is more than protesting. They lobby, we lobby. They throw bills, we challenge them, and we formulate our own bills. So I don't think the action will just be on the ground. We are gonna be here a lot. We're gonna be here a lot. We're gonna be here a lot. But the next action is litigation and legal.
Amazing. Did you want to plug your social media, or are you online anywhere?
I am, but it's like just like for fun. But M. Sukari, I get Mazen. It's my name. You can Google me.
This is an example. That's an example.
You're a really great speaker, so it's good to see men like you coming out and doing the right thing, right? Absolutely. Thanks a lot.
Thank you for having me.
Yeah, of course.
That's an example.
Tell me about this. I'm live on YouTube. Tell me about this.
They take my Children's Society of Toronto take my son for 7 years, holding him. I've been fighting 7 years, 7 lawyers trying to get my son home. In the end, they beat him badly, and he called the police that been beaten from alcoholic foster father. The police didn't arrive as soon they know about he's under care of the Children's Society. They write a report about he's in safe place. Is this a safe place? Boxing in chest? The bruises in the chest? That's not a safe place. They threaten me and my other own kids about from now walk away from that child, they will go take the other 3 I have. I said, take them with the mother, I'm not leaving my son. I fight hard. In the end, they give me my son with no courses, nothing. Here, we damage him, 7 years, take him. They make money, all about money. I said to the judge, what was the goal from all that? Tell me. The boy, he asked her, why I couldn't be with my dad's house? I've been in foster homes. Why now I have to back to my dad? damaging the child, beating him, abusing him, assaulted him. In the end, what the boss she say? We are sorry for what we did to you and your son. You was dealing with an old team, and now you deal with a new team. Is Canada work by team or by law?
And who do you think is really the people who need to be held responsible here?
It's the Children's Society and the government as well, in the top. The Children's Society is funded by the government. They are not government. They have to make money, and they make all these files. Most of them false. Most of the files false just to create jobs and put more people and damage the brains and damage the kids. Even that there is a therapist doctor work with us 2 years. He make over 300,000. When he came to the court, he advised the judge, give the child to the dad. There is a big love between them. All of a sudden, the lawyer of them, she say he's not a professional doctor. We don't want him anymore. They kick him out. Who can decide this doctor professional or not?
Right. Is there anything we can go?
For more information, I'm able to provide evidence, real document for everything, for the abuse.
You want your phone number out there? I'm live on YouTube.
I'm sorry?
Do you want your phone number out there?
Yes.
Okay.
I don't mind it. That's my phone number.
All right. Doxing. Here we go. Yeah, I guess if people want to know more about this, your story and
My son, 10 years old, being beaten from alcoholic guy, and will be in.
Why was he taken from you originally?
He's not been taken from me. He's been taken from the mom who's been mental issue. She became mental. But I'm the father. Give me my son. No. Now what happened? October 4 at 11 o'clock, Brampton Court will decide about the guy who did that to be charged or not. If you're interested, if you're interested, October 4, Brampton Court at 11 o'clock will be the court.
Okay. Amazing. Yeah, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, sir.
Amazing. Sarah, did you want to hop on the live for a sec?
Yes, sure.
Yeah.
How are you?
Good to see you.
Good to see you too. Thank you.
There's so much going on in this place.
I know.
And there's even conversations I think that I haven't even posted yet online with us. But
Right.
it's been a developing situation for you. I mean, what's on your mind? You're out here at the protest. I know you're dealing with a lot of nonsense still. If you want to update us on that as well.
Yeah. So.
This is Sarah from Frontline Nurses, by the way.
Yeah, hi. Well, yeah, my case, my disciplinary hearing. Do you want me to hold this? Okay. My disciplinary hearing with the College of Nurses of Ontario is forever still going on. You know, it was supposed to be 7 days. We're at day 13. We have 6 more days that are already announced, and so we're not sure how long it's going to be. So that's kind of crazy. I'm still fighting for that, fighting for nurses not to be censored. But I'm here today because, I was hoping that I get a chance to speak about how I identified as a boy as a child, and how if I was a kid today, I would have definitely gone through with taking the medication. But even the double mastectomy, I would have made them make like literally they cut like a piece of your arm off around it, and they make a penis. Am I allowed to say that on your live?
Yeah, of course. It's horrific.
Yeah.
Don't Google it, honestly. It's nightmare.
Yeah, exactly. I've posted a few of them, and what happens is that it creates so much infection and so much like surgeries. And the thing is that they're stopping us from helping our kids to go back to the root of like what's going on with them. They don't want us to stop them from converting, because they say that they're at risk for suicide. But we know with the numbers show that after kids have done all these surgeries and realize what they've done and what they have to go through, I mean, most of them are not non-functioning, so they won't have sex, they won't have pleasure. Some of them can't even urinate from it, it creates a lot of problems, and they'll never have kids. So it's not fair. We need to speak up. So I'm here speaking up on behalf of kids, because I exactly, like, I would have been one of them, and I would have never done my work. I would have never trauma is disconnection, and that's what it is. When you feel like you're in the wrong body, there's something going on, and we need to learn and teach these kids how to reconnect, and that would be healing. And if I did that work right before the pandemic, and if I hadn't done it, I would have never stood up and spoke out. I would have never stood in my power, and that's what they want. They want us to be weak. They want us to be disconnected. They want us to be victims. So I'm here today to speak about that and let people know that, you know, we need to help our kids. We need to help ourselves reconnect and heal so that we can heal our kids, and we don't need government entities and the state and teachers and the education system to do that for us.
Absolutely, so well said.
Thank
so
you.
well said. And were you gonna?
Yeah, well, I was going to say, because you know how Canadian frontline nurses has unfortunately pared down. We're not creating the new healthcare paradigm. That's probably a whole other interview. I don't have that much to say. We've just pared down, and we're only now collecting fundraising for our legal fees because we've been hit with so many charges at this point. It was almost $500,000, or it was $500,000 or more. And so, you know, we kind of collapsed. So we're only open for our legal battles and accepting money for that. But I'm back now at doing Lighting Up Dark Corners, which is all about, you know, a childhood trauma. And so this is all up my alley. So if you want to follow me and hear more about my story, and I have free workshops that can help people, you know, please subscribe to my website, lightingupdarkcorners.com. Thank you.
Lighting Up Dark Corners. Okay.
Lighting Up Dark Corners. Oh, here's the website.
Lightingupdarkcorners.com. Very cool. And it's specific to this issue.
It's childhood trauma. So I teach people what trauma really is, because we all have it. People think, you know, life is about pain and transcending that pain into wisdom. So I show people what trauma is, how it affects our brain, to like let go of that shame that we have, because it's literally an injury. And I teach people how to manage their triggers, reconnect to their true self, put healthy boundaries. And it's really about people doing the work on their own. So giving people the tools and knowledge to do their own, start their own healing journey, and you know, and be independent and an active participant in their care instead of being a patient, being a victim. And it's so disempowering, and you need something from the outside. That's not true. We have everything within. We just have to learn how to reconnect. So that's what it's all about.
Yeah. And I did want to go back to the transgender issue and trans kids. I think it's someone put it really well earlier, which is like we're teaching kids that like they're a mistake, that they were born in the wrong body, right? And you were bringing up you alluded to it. You know, they say that there's a suicide rate for people who are transgender. And if I'm not mistaken, the statistics are actually really unfortunate that even if they do transition, that it doesn't change the suicide rate.
No, it actually increases the suicide rate, because you're not taking care of the problem and why they don't feel good about their bodies, but now you're adding mutilation, infections, all kind of things. I mean, boys who transition into girls literally have a wound. They have to put something up there constantly. I mean, I don't want to get too graphic. Okay, I know, you know me. No trigger warnings whatsoever, but I'm just saying it's detrimental, and it's much harder afterwards. So the suicide rate is actually higher after transitioning than before. And you know, it's kids always, teenagers, it's always been, they are at higher risk of suicide. And it's because our society is so corrupt and we're so disconnected. And we need to teach these kids how to reconnect. It's all the same thing. We all need to do our work and reconnect to ourselves and stand in our power and our truths.
Okay. You're a great public speaker, so I'm going to ask you one of the tougher questions, okay? Are you ready? Get prepared.
All right.
So, one of the leaders of the 1 Million March for Kids movement, he's a Muslim guy, his name's Camille, and he posted a video where he kind of said, counter protesters, like, you really shouldn't show up, because, like, we're upset, and, you know, we don't like your lifestyle, you don't like our lifestyle, and we're going to start protesting the Pride events. And some people were concerned because this was sounding like very like anti-gay, quote unquote. And I guess, you know, I'll just got to share my personal opinion, which is, you know, are we allowed to criticize anything LGBTQ+? Like, when are we allowed to start doing that? What are your thoughts on that? Because I feel that the rainbow flag kind of represents a religion, that you cannot criticize anything LGBTQ plus, and there's a lot of things out there in that community that I think are worthy of criticism.
Absolutely. Well, actually, I used to love the Pride Parade. My kids used to go there. My eldest daughter started her group at school, the LGBTQ group. So I was all into it because I was a child that thought I was a boy, identified as a boy. So I thought, oh, this is great. But now we realize that that's not actually the agenda. And why can't we talk about it? I mean, a lot of gay people are against this movement. We're not against people having their own rights, but you don't have to tell us about what you're doing in your bedroom. You definitely do not have to tell our kids. This is where the problem is. You are indoctrinating, confusing, disconnecting our kids and causing trauma in them in order to move in an agenda. This is the problem. And the other problem is that parents are losing their rights. When the World Economic Forum says you will own nothing and you'll be happy, I hope people understand that they're talking about our kids and that it has already started. They can put you in jail if you say no to detransiting your kids. So I think that it's very important that we speak out. Most of us, I have no hate. I mean, a lot of people thought I was queer growing up. They would have said that now. We have to speak up. We're not about hate. And if you look at the counter protests, there's a lot of hate there. They're holding signs saying that there shouldn't be no, stop the hate. But really, we're all here peaceful, as you can see, all peace and love, and they are here with hate. So as long as we come from a place of love, and that people can make an informed consent, and that you're not indoctrinating our children, they have time. They're going to become adults. They can decide to do whatever they want. We don't have anything against that. But I mean, we need to speak up. They've brought it in under something else. It's like COVID was a Trojan horse. This is the same kind of thing. They're making it look like, oh, we're taking away people's rights, but really, it's about protecting our kids, and we should always stand for our kids.
Amazing. So well said. And I have another tough question. Basically, the question is, how do we save the world? How do we change things? How do we try to change the minds of these people? Because they are so indoctrinated, misled, brainwashed, and some of them are very eloquent and confident in how they feel. And it's, unfortunately, they have the whole regime. They have, the state apparatus, the institutions who are on their side. But I guess when it comes to the individuals on that side, do you have any success stories of people kind of seeing the light or kind of realizing maybe the rainbow is kind of distracting me from what's going on?
Not really any stories like that, but I think what we need to do is focus on ourselves, because I used to do the same thing. I tried to convince everyone as the first nurse to speak up at a rally. I wanted to convince everyone, and it's been 2.5 years, and I realized you can't convince anyone. So what we need to do is do the work of reconnecting to our true self, being aligned with ourselves, living in love and truth, and let other people learn from us. Actually, my HEAL program from Lighting Up Dark Corners does actually exactly that. I want us to build more leaders. This is what I saw in the last 2.5 years. We don't have enough leaders, and it's because a lot of us are disconnected. So we need to reconnect to our true selves so that we can stand in our power. And I think that slowly but surely, by our example, people will slowly come to our side to realize, because they are realizing. There are quite a few kids that have transitions, are regretting it, and are speaking out. We can see them today. So I think that just by doing your work, making sure that you're not, making sure that you're not spreading hate. Don't let hate and fear take over our humanity. Spread love, but don't be silent in the face of oppression. And we need to unite. United we stand, divided we fall. So we can't reciprocate this hate, but we just have to work on ourselves, and people will come along. I don't know. That was a tough question.
Yeah. Hey, thanks so much for your time, and let's promote your website again. Sounds interesting.
You.
Lighting Up Dark Corners. lightingupdarkcorners.com, and it has to do with childhood trauma, you said, yeah.
Childhood trauma, everybody has it. You don't have to be battered and sexually abused. Literally, it's anything that wounds you, and having a little baby brother come into the family might create a wound to make you feel like you're not good enough because your parents are paying more attention to that. And you go on to life thinking that I'm not good enough, I'm not worthy, you know.
You think, maybe if I, become the opposite sex, I'll get more attention. Right?
Yeah, there's all kinds of reasons why that happened, and because they're talking about it and indoctrinating it and bringing it in, it's like, oh yeah, this is what it is, and then they're sure that's what it is. So yeah, that is scary stuff.
Amazing. Thanks so much, Sarah.
Thank you.
Thanks for your time.
Thank you.
Bringing in a convoy hug.
Yes. Thank you.
We love you.
Hey, how you doing, man?
I know.
Good to see you.
Good to be here.
Where do we meet again?
We met on Front Street at the Chris Sky show.
Oh, that's right. That's right.
So I'm the.
Oh yeah, you're the police officer, former police officer. And what are you thinking today? You've been to a few protests. What's different about the protests today in your experience? I'm live right now on YouTube. Is that okay?
What's different?
Yeah, because I feel like today's a little different. It's about opposing the trans indoctrination in schools. Right?
Oh no, this is way more than that. This is historical. For the first time, we get to thank Justin Trudeau for uniting Muslims, Jews, Christians, religions of all type, all ethnicities on this issue. We are uniting now. That's what makes this different.
Yeah.
This is an exciting time. The unification.
Can we switch sides?
Yeah.
Yeah, sorry. My phone overheats, so I'm trying to be in the shade. I apologize.
That's okay. I'm not microaggressed by this at all.
I think you bring up a great point that there is a lot of unity happening, and it's going to be a lot harder for them to call us all racist and all the fascists and all this with this kind of very diverse crowd here today.
So look what's happening. We have the unification on this issue, which is a first in unifying all these groups. We have the Great Awakening. We have the unions have exposed themselves. All unions across Canada calling families, parents, and children coming here with an opposing point of view as hate groups.
Yeah.
As hate groups.
And worse than that, fascist, because the implication of if you're a fascist is you should get beat up, what is the implication of calling someone a fascist? Those are fighting words, you know what I mean? It's not just, hey, I think they're hateful. It really is a sort of, I don't know, it's a very aggressive term to vilify people for their very normal opinion.
Well, they're feeling very vulnerable now, and I believe they should, because this issue is something we need to take back. It has gone too far. Listen, young children are the most precious things in the world, and they are at their most vulnerable in their youth. Okay, the greatest gift that God has ever bestowed upon us is that of creating life. And when somebody is going to be motivated or coerced or confused about these gender issues and possibly goes into some form of chemical castration, we're going to see this ability for them to reproduce will be gone permanently in their lives, and that's irreversible. So we don't let them play with guns, we don't let them drink alcohol, we don't let them smoke dope or cigarettes. They can't even drive a car until they're 16. So they can't be making that decision. That's something that needs to be discussed between the child and the parent.
Yeah, absolutely. I got a more challenging question for you. There's some people here today. Camille is one of the leaders of a 1 million March for Kids, and he was basically saying hey, counter-protesters, don't show up. We don't like your lifestyle, like the LGBTQ plus as a whole, which was what he was implying. And some people are concerned, that's sounding anti-gay. And my own personal opinion is well, how long are we going to wait until we can criticize gay people or the ideas that have come from that community, right? They're kind of encouraging kids to sterilize themselves. Let's get real here. But are you worried about being called homophobic, or do you think that it's just the transitioning of children, or do you think the criticism should go beyond that?
Well, the name calling is inconsequential to me. I've got pretty thick skin, so I really don't give a shit what people want to call me.
Right.
Really, it doesn't matter, and it's really getting quite old and worn. All you have to do is ask these people what a Nazi is, or what a fascist is. I saw that question posted the other day on Twitter. What is ultra far right? And I saw 1,000 different answers.
Someone I disagree with.
Yeah, so you can disagree. It's just they're vague terms. They do have specific meaning, but to individuals, they're vague terms, and they're just words that are being thrown out. They're not real. They're not real. But fascism does exist. It certainly does, and it exists in this country, and that is the unification of government, media, corporations working together in a totalitarian way. So it does exist, and we are seeing that. There's a greater agenda playing out than what is here, and unfortunately a lot of these counter-protesters here, most of them, probably all of them, don't understand that there's another larger global agenda that's played out by individuals who we never voted for.
Yeah. Can I get your thoughts on Pierre Poilievre and the Conservative Party? Do you think they're fighting for us? Do you think they're helping this situation?
For a long time, I was very, very impressed with Pierre Poilievre, and I do think he's a very, very smart individual, but he has not stated his position on a number of issues, and he has stated his position on a number of issues that sound very much like this Liberal government. I am very, very concerned that we may see a slight pullback on some issues, but we're still heading in a very, very bad direction. He has had time to be vocal in Parliament and call out who these individuals are within the WEF and the WHO and what is happening on a global level, but he has remained silent. And I'm not going to wait for him to get voted in to find out that we may be wrong. I'm not impressed.
Yeah, very well said. And really, there are so many opportunities to Pierre to attack Trudeau harder and vilify him, especially since the convoy. But since the convoy, all these political prisoners, people being thrown in jail since the convoy, Pierre has not really stood up for any of them at all. Have you heard about the Hategate scandal that's recently been publicized? Have you heard of this? What do you think of it?
Yeah, I have, and I'm sort of integrated into that myself. So I was aware a few days ago of a RCMP intelligence correspondence document that has been floating around that talks about a person by the name of Jeremy Mackenzie. Jeremy Mackenzie's connection with Police on Guard and other freedom groups, including Police for Freedom. I'm the Canadian voice for Police for Freedom. Nobody in Police for Freedom has ever met Jeremy Mackenzie, spoken to Jeremy Mackenzie, or communicated with Jeremy Mackenzie, yet we are on an intelligence report as being associated. Once they start going down that road and fabricating evidence, I don't have a problem with Jeremy Mackenzie because I don't know him. But to start demonizing an individual and then associating individuals to that individual is a very dangerous path. So I'll need to meet Jeremy Mackenzie one day, and we'll need to have this conversation about how this is happening and why RCMP intelligence is so inaccurate. But not surprising. Not surprising because there are a lot of lies that are coming out, and Hategate is part of the exposure.
Absolutely, absolutely. And you know what? I'm feeling very inspired these days because I look around and I just see vindication everywhere of the convoy people and all that. But I guess the march is starting here. Anything else you wanted to share with people? Did you want to promote anything?
No, just continue to attend these events. This is how we push back. It's all about unification. Do it with kindness, do it with love, and do it with respect for everybody.
Amazing. Thanks so much for your time, bro. Thank you, Rick. Thank you, sir. Thank you. Amazing.
Thanks for doing what you do.
Yeah, of course. All right, so I think the march is starting. People are starting to filter out towards Bloor Street. That's north. If people are trying to wonder where I am, because I know there's people who are trying to meet up with me. I'm at the statue right now in Queen's Park. just doxing myself. How's it going, sir? Good. I'm live on YouTube right now. How are you? Did you want to chat? So, what's your name, sir?
My name is Arfan Naveed.
And what brings you out here today?
Actually, we are just supporting them. Kids don't need this kind of education. Because, if you're going to the club, you have to be under over 18 or 19. If you're going to buy alcohol, you still need to be under over 19. So why you are teaching the good thing, this kind of thing to the kids? They need more math teacher, more English teacher. You see how our kids are doing? They are very weak in math. They are very weak in English. They need more teacher. They don't need this kind of thing. You are start teaching to the kids to this kind of thing stuff. So I would say thank you so very much and thanks for your appreciation. Thank you.
Were you born in Canada?
No, I born in Pakistan.
And could you have ever imagined seeing this type of thing in Canada when you got here?
Sorry?
Could you have ever imagined seeing something like this in Canada when you got here?
No, but the laws are changing very soon right now. First they make the law like LGBT, then they did it. Now they are putting flag on all the schools. So if they make the law, so it doesn't make sense to put the flag on the school. What they are telling the teacher and how it's going on. So maybe after 4 or 5 years, we don't have any engineer or doctor. Maybe we have the LGBT in whole Canada. So it's not work like this. So we stand with our kids. So we want leave kid alone. We can teach them very well. Thank you so much.
Thanks for your time so much, sir.
Thank you very much.
Cheers.
Leave our kids alone! Leave our kids alone! Leave our kids alone! Leave our kids alone! 5 seconds. Keep on saying because that's what it's trying. Leave our kids alone! Leave our kids alone!
So you can see the march there with the purple signs, and then off to the right, we got the counter protesters over here. I think my phone's cooled down a bit. How's it going?
My son, the one who's being taken. He will tell you the experience.
Is that right? Do you want to share your experience with I'm live on YouTube right now. Is that okay?
Yeah, that's fine.
So you had an experience with the Children's Aid Society, is that right? What happened to you?
I've been taken from my dad, and basically they put me in 10 foster homes over the course of 7 years, and every foster home I've been to, they all been abusing me.
This happened for 7 years.
For 7 years it's been happening.
And, I mean, what is your opinion after all this of the Children's Aid Society?
Honestly, they're garbage people, and I think that they need a recheck, and they need the government needs to look over everything and fix all the problems within the Children's Aid Society.
Yeah. Have you talked to any news outlet or journalists about your story?
We've tried, but nothing really. No one wants to talk about it.
Really? They're scared. They're scared to talk about it. Nobody wants to go against them. Even lawyers. I went to many lawyers. Nobody wants to touch them. I can let you hear a recording between us and the lawyer when he say he get 15,000 from me, and then the last week before the trial, 1 week, he say I cannot attend. I might lose my license. I'm sorry. I swear to God, the recording you can hear it. Yusuf have it.
So they were really intimidated because you were going toe to toe with the Children's Aid Society? Is that?
He said, I'm worried to lose my license. I can let you hear the message, the recording. And why you take my 15,000 for?
Yeah. And in your opinion, how closely connected do you think this protest is with the Children's Aid Society?
It's really close actually, because a lot of kids are being taken away and put into foster homes with gay parents, and they're probably going to indoctrinate those kids and try to convert them as well and go against the biological parents' wishes.
Right. Wow, this is all so much.
7 years experience is here.
Yeah.
I have a loss evidence, a loss of things. They threaten me in my own family. If I continue fight for him, they will take my other 3 kids.
Yeah, and so there's a lot of counter protesters over there who I'm sure you've seen, and they have this idea of oh no, we're fighting hate, and I'm sure the Children's Aid Society has a similar mantra where they're no, we're saving kids or whatever. I mean, since you've lived through this, what would you tell to somebody over there if they're no, I think I'm fighting hate, or just what do you think about all this lying in general?
The Children's Aid Society is there just to make money off of children. They don't care about love or hate. They just take the kids, throw them into homes, and then just leave them alone. All of that is just for money.
Tell him about your dinner. What was it? Tell him.
Every day into one of the foster homes, they used to go to Walmart and buy a $2 packet of noodles, and that was my dinner every day.
That was it.
Yeah.
And he used to steal from the convenience store chocolate to sell it in the school to buy extra food. When the foster, they know about it, they let it go. They didn't care. Yeah, it's okay.
So have you done research? Is there any like similar scenarios that you've had that you've heard about or seen?
Residential school. It's a residential school exactly. Back again. And I've been in conversation between me and the big boss. What she say? Doesn't matter what you're going to do, you will never going to get this child. I say I done nothing, ma'am. No abuse, no criminal. Why I can't get my son? As I told you, you will never going to get this child. Are you going to go do what Canada did to the native 70 years ago? She say exactly. I say, but your government apologize about it. She say, I'm not. Yeah. That's my experience with this type of people. Yeah. That's the people who's collecting our tax. Yeah. Our tax in wrong hands.
Sure. And you look like a young guy. Have you ever been political in the past? Like, what are your thoughts on politics in general after going through all this?
I don't really look into politics, nor am I really interested in it. I just hope that the next Prime Minister or the next government of Ontario can really look into it and fix the problems of this country.
Absolutely. Is there anything else you wanted to say for people at home about or the Children's Aid Society, or like what you've been through, or just your thoughts in general?
The abusers.
Yeah, please keep your kids safe and don't let the Children's Aid Society take them, because once they take them, you'll never get them back.
And not just that, one of the abusers for my son, what she did, she was boxing him in the head. A lady, she seen that and she write a letter of witness. I put it in front of the Children's Aid Society as a complaint. Rather than to go for that lady, they went for the witness to threaten her own kids. Abuse is a big word, and you have kids. The lady, she have to leave the country because of that. And now the kids, they are growing. She's able to say everything about what happened in the past.
Wow. Well, thanks so much for sharing your story. Is there anything where people can learn more information, or is it just your cell phone number? Do you have a social media? Or
sorry about what I thought, that I'm dealing not with the government, we're dealing with the mafia. Mafia of the kids, or mafia of what? It's all about money, collecting money, using our kids for the money.
Yeah. Real quick, do you follow politics, and like, do you like Pierre Poilievre or Trudeau or Jagmeet Singh or like any of these guys?
Not really, no. One guy from the politics, he came with us and he told them, give me one good reason why the father cannot have his son. He have other kids to raise. They say it is a policy, it is whatever. There are many excuses. They say to me in the end, they're stealing the child. And children, they are numbers.
Yeah. Sorry, well, I'm gonna follow up with your phone number there. Actually, maybe I'll just take one of these. Thanks again, man. Yeah, you as well. Here, cheers. Are you guys marching?
We wish never happened to another kids. They will damage more kids.
Yeah. Thanks again, eh? Thanks, man.
Leave our kids alone!
Leave our kids alone! Leave our kids alone! Leave our kids alone! Leave our kids alone!
Leave our kids alone! Leave our kids alone! Leave our kids alone!
Leave our kids alone!
All right,
Leave our kids alone!
Hey, I'm live on YouTube. You want to say something to people?
Absolutely. YouTube.
I'm live on YouTube right now. What's up?
Hi, my name is Leo. I'm a trans man. I'm a student, and in my opinion, I think this convoy is kind of pointless because, like, I'm just trying to live my life, and in my opinion, I go to an art school, and art schools are like gay as hell, right? But I've never gotten any sort of ideology pushed onto me. I think it's kind of like if you want your kids to be left alone, like I want to be left alone. I'm a child, like I'm doing my own thing, and I just
my gay dads.
Yup. I just think this is kind of pointless, and it's really sad that there's small kids. There's literally, look, there's toddlers, literal children. That's not fair. That's not okay for kids. Those are little children. Little children shouldn't be here. It's unsafe for them.
Yeah.
Any questions or?
Yeah, sure. No, thanks for sharing that. I appreciate that. Yeah, I've been talking to some parents. I've been talking to people on both sides, and I suppose like the parents are kind of saying that parents know best, and they don't think that the kids know best. And so, and the other concern, I guess, is that they're saying that they're introducing like different gender identities to kids, and they're saying, well, but the kids should just be focused on math and science. So like, because they're not really sexually active yet. And I guess like that's kind of like their concern of like, isn't this kind of like overly sexual for younger kids?
They have sex education. Why not include transgender
And
people?
also, most sex education, it's like it goes by grade. Each grade has a different sort of level of sexual education. And I don't think being transgender, gay, or anything is sort of something that is sexual. It's not something that is inherently sexual. That is me. That's who I am as a person. And I don't think it's fair to be calling other people to be saying that it's sexualization, because it's not. And like I said, I go to an art school. The mentions of like trans and gay people are like, it's literally just, oh, they exist. If you feel like you're not comfortable with your body, you have that option to change yourself to fit into what you're most comfortable with. And so I've talked to a lot of the people here on like the other side, and a lot of them have said they just care about their kids, and they want their kids to be able to not have that, to like not be forced to be gay or trans. But it's not being forced. It's just showing that if you are, it's okay. And it's like this forcing an ideology is not forcing an ideology. It's showing that it's normal and that it's okay to be gay. It's okay to be trans. And then it's just I feel like there's a lot of hate, and it's just very sad. And I don't think little kids should be. I
think that's also like different, because like these kids, like they only like know what their parents tell them because they're so young. So like no one's angry at these kids because like what else are they gonna do besides listen to their parents?
This is why we need the education, because shit like this is happening, and this is so sad and horrible for these young kids who don't know anything else.
Imagine one of those kids are trans. Well, how are they gonna feel? They don't fucking know yet.
Well, and what's interesting is a lot of the people out here are Muslim, or they're religious. So that's kind of like where they're coming from, right? Like they have like basically like really different beliefs in terms of like only like men and women, and I guess they like simply just don't want it for their kids, or they don't want the kids to hear about it, I guess. But.
And if that's their choice as a parent, that's their choice. But there's other options. There's Islamic schools in Toronto. There's Catholic schools in Toronto. There's different schools. And at the same time, like just telling your kids that gay or trans people exist is not going to make them like gay. It's not going to make them trans. This is just here so actual trans and gay kids know it's okay and they feel supported and respected. And I was here when it first started. I've had some conversations with people, and they said, "Oh, this is peaceful. We don't have anything against trans people actually," but it's not. It comes off as very hateful, and I felt very unsafe because it's just a lot of negativity and a lot of bad energy. But, okay, cool. Yeah. Thank you so much.
Yeah, thanks for your time, guys. I appreciate it. That's Toronto. That's Toronto for you. Very cool. This is great. This is pretty wild. All right, guys, what should we do? Should we try to speak to these the counter protesters? Should we catch up with the march? Hi there. I like your sign. Would you like to have a conversation, sir? This is very ironic because he's saying the far right has no case. That's why they resort to lying, and he doesn't want to talk to me.
You gotta go to fighting Wycliffe.
Would you like to defend yourself and defend your case? Because you're kind of looking like a hypocrite with that sign, and you don't want to talk to me, right? You understand how that works? But yeah, we're live on YouTube. I don't know if you want to broadcast a message, but you could have like a bunch of people watching right now. You don't want to have a conversation? No? All right, cool. Hi, I'm live on YouTube. Would you like to have a conversation?
Oh, right-winger YouTuber. Go figure. Go fucking figure.
Is that supposed to be a nice thing, or is that a hateful thing you said to me? Oh, so it's okay if you're hateful. So it's okay if they're hateful, guys. Oh, right-winger. Yeah, I do hate you. Yeah, I totally hate you because I'm allowed to hate because I have a rainbow flag. How does it feel to hide behind trans kids to hate on me? See, this is the irony, right? If you held a rainbow flag, did you want to say something? No? Okay. It's okay to hate right-wingers. That's the message from these people. Hey, I'm live on YouTube. Did you want to share? Okay, cool. No? No? I'm live on YouTube. Did you want to share your thoughts?
What's the name of your website?
My name is Greg Wycliffe. I'm like an independent guy.
Independent guy?
Yeah.
Are you running for anything?
Am I running?
Yes.
I mean, I ran for the PPC in 2019. So, yeah. So, no? All right, cool. Okay, so I'm going to try to interview a couple more rainbow people, and then I think we'll try to catch up with the march, I guess. I think that's a good idea. Who should we interview here? Hey there! Hi, I'm live on YouTube. Did you want to share your thoughts on what's going on here? Or? Why is that funny?
Why not?
Hi, I'm here with, what's your name?
Alicia.
Alicia, and what brings you out here today?
I believe they're our kids. It should be our choice and how we raise them. If they want to make choices later on in life when they've matured, they've had time to see the world themselves, then sure thing. But there's no need to start grooming kids from the tender age of 4. That's not okay.
Absolutely. I talked to a woman on the rainbow side, and she said, I have a friend who has a kid, and they've decided that they're the opposite sex, and now they're thriving. So they kind of believe that, like, the kids know best, I guess. How would you respond to that?
We only learn from the experiences that we have. You have to give children time. They need to experience. They need to have a life of their own. And you don't do that by forcing ideas onto them. You gave them an idea and they're running with it. Give that child a few years, they might have a different experience. So many children have come out against transitioning young, coming against what parents have forced onto them. Don't force your ideology on a child just because you want them to come out in a weird way.
Yeah, no, you're very well spoken. So, this is a protest, like, you know, very polarized. Are you like a political person? Have you been involved before in politics?
I definitely believe that you have to engage in politics. Everyone should. If we don't make a choice, somebody else will. I definitely have been involved with things in the government before. Even when I was in high school myself, I did a program with the government down at Queens, down here, just at Queens Park, to just learn. I think everyone should get involved because if we don't make a choice now, somebody else will make that choice for you.
Yeah. And did you happen to see any of the leaked Zoom call from like the union workers? So essentially they were saying that people like yourself, people standing up for parental rights and protect children are fascists. Like saying lots of crazy stuff like that. And this is like a massive union in Ontario. So like, how does it feel like just for having your pretty normal views, I would argue, that being called a horrible name like that?
I think it's quite an extreme, and I think we live in a society that we tend to like to emphasize extreme voices and not just listen to people who are around. These are everyday people. This has nothing to do with whether or not you have one belief or another. Keep your hands off our kids. They're our children. It should be our choice. Children eventually get exposed. The more they grow, the more they learn. So if they want to make a choice later on in life, go ahead. You don't need to groom them.
Yeah, that's a really good chant. ABC, not LGBT. You're really well spoken, so I'm going to ask you a tougher question, okay? So I was talking to some trans people earlier, and they're like seeing like it was like Muslim kids, and they're like, no, the Muslim kids are being indoctrinated. They're the ones that are getting these ideas pushed onto them. How do you respond to that?
So what happened to the Charter of Rights and Freedoms? Are we not allowed to have religious beliefs anymore? Because if you ask me, it sounds like they're coming up with their own doctrine, their own set of beliefs. Is that not a religion? Just because you decided that you want to come out and you have, maybe you identify as, I heard there's something called neo-pronouns now. You'd identify as paint self, whatever it may be.
That TikTok, it's wild.
It doesn't mean that we shouldn't be able to help our children. We shouldn't be able to grow them the way that we've been taught is right. Everyone has their own moral code. Who are you to tell me mine is right and yours is wrong?
Yeah, absolutely. When it comes to politics, Jagmeet, Justin Trudeau, Pierre Poilievre, these different parties, do you like any of them? What do you like about them? What do you not like?
I wouldn't really, I would say I'm not very much so identifying with any particular political party, but I do believe that I take a more of a conservative approach in the sense that I think we allow way too much to be normalized nowadays. Certain things are just not right, and we should take time to actually look at what we're doing, because this is not going to last. This is going to cause so much trouble for us, whether it's our tax dollars now are going to have to pay for therapy to help kids who want to detransition, and we already, like, you know what I mean? We're causing so many issues for our futures. These kids literally are struggling to know ABC. How can you be telling them what pronoun to use? How about 2 + 2, you know what I mean?
Absolutely. And for people who might be on the fence, or, you know, people on the rainbow side, and no, like, we need to protect trans kids, like, you're being hateful, like, any final message for them to kind of try to pry their mind open a little bit from where you're coming from? Or just pray.
Like, if you have been through experiences and you believe it in your heart that maybe you're trans or whatever it may be, that's your experience. You shouldn't force your experience on anybody else. I'm not forcing my religion or my beliefs down your throat. I might tell you about it. You're free to speak about things. I might tell you about it, but I cannot force you to accept my God as your God. I cannot force you to accept my beliefs as your beliefs. So why should your beliefs be forced onto our kids?
Yeah. Very eloquent speaker you are. Did you want to promote your social media or anything like that? No? All good?
I'm all good. Thank you so much.
Okay, thanks so much for your time. Appreciate it.
You too.
Awesome. You know, I love all my interviews, but I really like that one. That was a good one. So they've taken over the hill here. I'm live on YouTube. Did you want to have a chat?
Yeah, sure.
Amazing. Let's come out here a bit. Awesome. So I am. 1 second here. Sorry. I'm here with. What's your name?
My name is Isaac Opong.
Okay. And what brings you out here today?
I came here with our church family, our community. I'm the minister at Miracle Arena, and we came.
You're a minister?
Yes, I am.
Hell yeah.
We came to find out what all the protest is about. They are asking that their trans children will be protected, and I'm asking the simple question: what is a trans child?
That's the question I had at the last protest.
It's a very simple question, but I don't know why it's confusing people. So no one can answer it for 20 minutes now. Now they're yelling. One person said that if you are born a certain sex, that doesn't mean it's your gender. I really don't understand.
I'm in the shade because my phone's overheating. That's why I'm here. I'm hoping that my phone will cool down. But this is becoming an issue. I don't know if I need new equipment or what, but I keep overheating. But yeah, if you do want to support and help me get new equipment, you can go to gregwycliffe.com. Donation options there. So how are we feeling? Are we cold? Are we cool yet? We're still kind of hot. I was just talking to this minister before we got cut out, but yeah. Hey there, I'm live on YouTube. Did anybody want to have a conversation? Hi there. How about you, ma'am? Did you want to? Hi, hello. I'm live on YouTube. Did you want to have anyone want to have a conversation? Okay, thank you. Cool. Very tolerant of you. Thanks. Yeah. Yeah, it's tolerant. Did you want to have a conversation? Anybody? That's what I'm asking. Not with me. So you don't like to talk to certain people because you're so loving and tolerant. It's these people are. I mean, like, can we have a conversation? No. Brutal. Brutal. They believe so strongly in their ideas that they can't explain themselves, right? So strongly in their ideas that they can't explain themselves. But that's it. How are we feeling here? Trying to cool you guys down. You're too hot today. You're too hot. I had a bunch of masked individuals say, we don't want to talk to you. And I'm the hateful one, I'm pretty sure. I'm supposed to be the hateful one. That's why they don't want to talk to me, because I'm the hateful one. They can't even explain themselves in a conversation. So, but I'm just chilling in the shade here, cooling the phone down. We'll give you a look at what's going on. All right, we're gonna wait one more minute, and then we're gonna go back into the fray and interview some people. I wanted to interview the people in the shade, but they don't want to talk to me because I'm not gay enough, I guess. It's very funny. Hey there, I'm just live on YouTube. Did anyone want to chat, have a conversation? No. Oh my God, is the march coming back already? I think the march is coming back already. This is interesting. So the rainbow people have taken over the kind of the parquet, the little statue here, and yeah. I'm just live on YouTube. If anyone wanted to have a conversation. Yeah. What's that?
You have the chat open?
Yeah.
Hear what people are saying
It's a lot. It's like there's a lot going by, man.
95?
Yeah. All right. So what brings you out here today? You have a class in 30 minutes or something?
Yes, sir. I have minutes.
So you're just kind of here to like see what's going on.
I want to see what people are saying, what's on the signs, what flags people are waving.
Yeah. So do you want me to give you a summary, or do you know what's going on?
I think I know what's going on.
And I mean, which side are you more partial to?
Probably the trans side.
Yeah? Okay.
I don't think... how should I word this? I don't think it's too radical. It's too radically different from what I grew up with.
You don't think the trans stuff is too radical?
Yeah, personally, I don't.
Okay.
And I'm going through a schooling system right now, so maybe I'm biased.
Does a lot of stuff having to do with like transgenderism and gender and sexuality come up?
Not in my program, no. But there's other stuff that's because I'm a part of one of the colleges.
Okay.
And they do a lot of stuff for this, but I'm part of the arts and science program, like STEM, so I don't get a lot of that.
All right. So because you're more on the trans side, I'll kind of, if it's okay, I'll share kind of like the ideas that these parents are saying to kind of get your response. Like they'll say things like, hey, I don't like this education seems overly sexual. Like, you know, a trans kid or a LGBT kid, it's like kids shouldn't really have sex lives yet. So like, why are we kind of pushing all the sexual kind of ideas onto them? And like, how would you respond to that?
I think the argument is that gender identity and sexuality are separate, like inherently.
Yep.
So the people on this side would argue that whether you identify as like a boy or a girl or anything in between is completely irrelevant to your sexual preferences. And like, I think they know that kids aren't thinking about like sex yet until high school. Around
They
there,
know that
right?
what?
They know that sex ed like isn't a big part of their lives until like high school. Like 9th grade gym, you get taught sex ed. That's when they start fooling around, right? Teen pregnancies, we all know about that, right? So I would say that teaching about like you don't think that little girls should like enjoy sports because that's like typically a male thing, right?
Yeah.
You would say. Like they would argue you can do whatever the hell you want as a child.
Right, but wouldn't the trans side argue more that it's like, oh well, if you're a girl and you feel like playing sports, maybe you're a boy. Like, isn't that more of the trans side's kind of argument? Like, just if you're a girl and you feel like playing sports, you actually might be a dude. Like, or maybe you're some kind of variation of something else. Like I feel like in my personal opinion, the dangerous thing about this education is it is children. So it's like we don't really know what they're going to think of it or where their mind might take it, and they're not really grown-ups yet. Like, and you know, I've heard that argument. Gender identity has nothing to do with sex. I don't really buy that though. I don't personally. But yeah, I'm not trying to be combative, but like that's kind of where I'm coming from. But feel free to respond if you want.
I mean, it's perfectly reasonable. Like, you can pull from life experience, obviously. You're probably older than I am. It's just very vacuous. There's no, like, one right answer, I think, for one thing.
Yeah.
I don't fully agree with this side, per se. I would try to go for, like, an alternate explanation as to why, like...
Well, here's another question, because I feel it's not necessarily those people protesting, but there's a lot of people politicians will say anyone who's saying leave our kids alone are like fascists, and like they'll go to this extreme that like anyone who's concerned about this is like this like vile hater. Would you at least agree like maybe that's a little bit of an exaggeration, or do you think that everyone who is standing up for kids are they misled and they are like hateful?
I think that the for side is very driven by like there's a strong emotional reasoning for why people are here, and I feel like it's a bunch of outrage that's been circulating online. There's like agitators, there's like influencers and stuff, and you can see that the PPC actually backs this. You see PPC signs everywhere, but on the counter-protesting side, there's no flags. There's like no political affiliation per se from like a party that's going to run for House of Commons in the next election.
Yeah, but I mean, Justin Trudeau's office has a rainbow flag outside his office, right? And they have rainbow flags.
Well, yeah, but he's not here helping organize a counter-protest. He's not giving out people signs with Liberal Party on that. That's easy to say. That's just the opposition. That's how you get votes, right? Wouldn't you agree?
I think that side is very political, and it's supported by the establishment, like hardcore supported by the establishment, like the transgender
Well, yeah, that's what
thing.
I mean. That's why I don't think they're too radical. Even the establishment supports them, right? Unless you think there's something going on behind the scenes. I don't.
I've had. You don't even want to know, dude. I was at the convoy. I've had people who have been thrown in jail for like nothing. So it's pretty bad. Yeah, I don't trust this regime or this establishment at all.
Don't typically get jailed for nothing in this country. From my experience, I come from Russia, by the way, where people do get jailed for.
You know what you should look up? You should look up Hategate. Hategate, they justified the use of the Emergencies Act based on lies that came from a far left organization. And we have the receipts now. It's been confirmed.
Post some links in the chat, guys. Hategate.com.
Oh, they all know about Hategate.
Oh, they all know?
Yeah.
Long-time viewers.
Well, dude, if you don't believe me, like look up Hategate. It's happened. It's happening, and it's
No space for hate.
Hey,
No
hey, I'm on
space for
YouTube.
hate.
Did you want to chat?
No space for hate.
Did you want to have a conversation?
No space for hate.
Did you want to have a conversation?
No space for hate.
No. All right. I'm the hateful one, I guess. But yeah, thanks for your time. How's it going, sir? How's it going, sir? Hi. I'm good. I'm good. Hey, do you mind if I hop in here? Is that okay? 1, 2, nobody comes through. I'm just doing press media stuff, and I wanted to interview somebody over there. What do they look like? Okay, stripes on their shoulders? Like these? Okay, thank you.
This is our home.
Hey there, I'm live on YouTube. Did you want to chat? No? Are you sure?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Thank you.
Yeah, no problem. Hey guys, live on YouTube. Do you guys want to chat? No? Okay. Hey, I'm live on YouTube. Did you guys want to have a conversation? No? Okay. Hey there, how are you? Sorry, I know I'm not getting good content right here. I'm looking for an interview at the moment. I'm going to try to meet the guy that I was talking to already. I'm doing good.
Thanks for what you do, man.
Yeah, no problem. I appreciate it. My friend's just in there. Is it?
You're not letting anyone.
No, they're my ride. I need to tell them where I am.
You'll have to come out, man.
Is that okay? I'll just sneak by. It's just me. It's just one. There's a gap right. Is it? No.
You're breaking the line. You're gonna get.
Okay. How do I get in there?
Go that way. Now those officers up the top end. That's where we're at.
Over there? Unbelievable. Hi there. Hi. Hello. Hey.
I am the director.
Hey there. We're live on YouTube. Does anyone want to share their thoughts on what they're seeing here or what's going on? No? Okay. All right, we're going to try to get back in there. Hey, what's up? What's up? How are you? How are you? Awesome. We're live on YouTube right now.
Oh, amazing. Well, our kids came out. We just...
Did you want to, is it okay if you're live? Is that?
Sure, it's fine.
Okay, cool. Here, hold on to this for a second.
Okay. Thank you.
Just hold it like that. Yeah. What's your name?
My name is Terry Dorrington.
And what brings you out here today?
Well, what brings me out is just to have the choice, honestly, to what's being taught to my children. I respect everybody's belief and I respect everybody's choice and how they choose to live their life. And I just want that same respect for how I would like to raise my children and to respect our beliefs in our home. And we can all really live together and we don't have to. It's okay. You know, and that's the difference. You see, we all come in peace, but it seems like the other side just isn't so peaceful and understanding. And it's sad, but at the end of the day, we're here for love, like we were through the Freedom Convoy. And it sounds like
Let's walk this way.
Yeah, let's walk this way.
Let's go to the shade a bit.
But yeah, I just want my kids and myself to have the freedom to choose what we believe in and how. And I don't know, like I just want us to have a choice. Let there be an option, you know, that we can opt in or opt out at least. I'm not here to promote hate in any way. We all have family and friends who are, you know, gay, bi. I don't personally know anybody trans, but, you know, I support them, and I just wish that we all have respect for one another and our own beliefs.
Yeah. So I want to ask, did you see like the leaked Zoom calls by chance?
No, I didn't.
So there was this big workers union, Coopy, and essentially in the Zoom call, they were like, yeah, people like you or people standing up for children are like fascists, essentially, like very extreme sort of, like they're hateful and they're fascists, which I think
they use that same tactic in Ottawa. You know,
Yeah.
I'm part of the small fringe minority who were racist, and I'm biracial myself. So it's what they do. They use hate to control and manipulate the people. And honestly, I have real big faith in humanity. I know we're waking up to see how they're moving. And I'm not really concerned. I believe in God, and I believe that we will win this fight. And I really don't care if they think that I'm, you know, anti-anything or fascist.
Yeah.
It doesn't affect me because I know it's just part of their propaganda.
Yeah, absolutely. When it comes to the different politicians, you know, Jagmeet Singh, Justin Trudeau, Pierre Poilievre, like, do you like any of them?
I have to admit, at the beginning, I was a Justin Trudeau fan up until COVID, when he started to show his true colors. And he started to show his true colors way before that with the Indigenous. But honestly, like, he should step down. He's a disgrace. I don't even want to use his name.
Yeah. Can we just stop talking about him, right?
Like, it's a wrap. Like, we got to throw out the trash. Other politicians, all I have to say is we're watching. We are watching what you say, what you do. You know, you could talk all the talk you want, but your actions are ultimately what will determine whether we vote for you again. And that's just it. We have the choice, and we need to come out in drones, get your neighbors, get your friends, and you know, vote. Your vote counts. But you know, as for the NDP, I did also once vote for them, and they sold our vote. So I'll never trust them again. You know, I don't know who I'm going to vote for when it comes. I know it's conservative or PC, or I'm not sure. I'm still waiting, and I'll probably make my decision last minute, you know, but I'm watching. And
I like that. That's a good catchphrase. I'm watching. We're watching you. We're paying attention. We're watching your every move. Because, you know, politicians do need to be on their, like, be held accountable, right? Yeah, there's a lot of people on the rainbow side who are basically saying kids know best. You know, not parents. Kids know best. And the other kind of belief they have is, you know, this education isn't sexual. It's just like informative for them. What would you say to someone who believes that?
well, honestly, I grew up in public school system, and when I was younger, we had, you know, we were taught about the differences between man and female, and it was cartoons, and now it's like my daughter came home and showed us, like, they're showing them real pictures of grown men who are naked, and that's where I just draw the line. My daughter still plays Barbies, and what grade? She was in grade 6 when they were doing this, and she's very innocent.
That's pretty much pornographic.
And I thought that crossed the line. Like, I just didn't feel the need that she has to see a grown man naked, or even a grown woman. Like, my son is in grade 4. He doesn't need to see that right now, you know? There's a reason why I change in my room and not in front of my kids, you know? I don't know. The sexualization of children is real. I can't convince you if it is or if it isn't. From what I've seen, from what my kids are experiencing, we don't need to learn about adult sexuality when we're under even 16. It's just ridiculous. I want my kids to just be kids. My daughter is 11. She still enjoys her toys. My son is still, you know, excited to get a Bronco toy. They don't need to be learning about whether or not who they're going to be with when they're older.
Yeah, I mean, it's and I think, like, what I like to say about that is, like, listen, having a sex life, being an adult, it's kind of a lot to deal with. It's a lot to think about. Who am I sleeping with, whatever, all that stuff. And it's like, can't we help kids, like, just be kids? And how about you don't have a sex life until you're older, and we don't actually have to fill your head with all this stuff until then.
Okay. I don't know. Well, exactly. You know, they already have a lot on their shoulders. And again, coming out of COVID, that was very stressful for every child. And so now they're being faced to decide whether they're a girl, a boy, an it, a them. It's too much. I just feel like, at the end of the day, let's just focus on the education system, teaching our children how to be successful. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, let's focus on math, English, science, geography. Let's focus on their future careers and aspirations and goals, and not sex and who they're going to sleep with at the end of the night when they are an adult, because they don't need to focus on that right now. Like, my kids, I'm not talking to them about even.
Thank you. Hey, I'm live on YouTube. How's it going? You want to chat on live on YouTube?
I am Diagolon, and I love you guys. I get confused with Wycliffe, with Arcade, Ferryman. I'm so confused, but I'm
going to come live on the channel right now.
I'll be getting myself into trouble. Plus, Diagolon said not to say it was.
Okay.
But it was a pleasure meeting you.
Cool. Yeah, no problem. Bring it in, bro. Bring it in.
I see my Diagolon.
Yeah. Big Diagolon fan just came up. Massive Diagolon fan just came over. Gave me a big hug. Big fan of Diagolon. I'm gonna try talking to this guy coming up over here. Stay in the shade a bit. Hey man, how's it going? I'm live on YouTube. Do you want to share your message with people? Come on, I'm right here, dude. You don't want to talk to me? He doesn't want to talk to me. So annoying. You know, they feel so strongly about their beliefs, but they can't defend it. Are you part of a news organization? I'm an independent. How's it going? Do you want to? I'm live on YouTube. Do you want to have a conversation?
No, but I just want to ask you a question.
Sure.
What do you think about this? I know you're going to report, but what's your opinion?
Quite frankly, I think the regular parents are in the right. Okay. I think the transgender stuff has gone too far.
Are you going to report that the regular people were in there, they got kicked out by the trans, and then the police protected them by not letting anyone else come in?
Yeah, I know. I'm seeing that. Yeah.
Did you see that?
Yeah.
You should report it, because that's what they've done. They've taken their spot.
They're protecting the trannies.
No, it's okay to protect people, but they took the regular protesters, the parents, away from the area, pushed them out to like wherever, and now they've barricaded it and surrounded them, so they have a voice. So they've taken away the voice of the regular people who care about their children.
Yeah, pretty much.
Right? So.
Well, did you see the leaked Zoom calls that came from the workers' union, basically calling any parents standing up for themselves or their kids fascists?
Really? No.
Really, a massive workers' union, basically said we're anti-fascist. These people are hate. We have to stand up to hate, implying that every kid.
With LGBT, this whole move to protect the children, it's just about curriculum and policy. Has nothing to do with trans people. Has nothing to do with them personally. It's just about policies, and it's about whatever curriculums are being enforced on children.
Yeah.
Because we all have a Section 2 rights and whatever sections it is when it deals with religious expression.
Yeah.
So as Canadians, we all have rights. Trans people too, all of us.
Absolutely.
So we have a right to not teach our 5-year-old about homosexual sex because it makes no difference to them.
Yo, thanks for your time.
No worries.
I really appreciate it, bro. Excuse me.
Please report the facts.
I will. Hey, how's it going? I'm live on YouTube. Did you want to chat? Awesome. So let's read your sign here first. It says, "Don't drag our children into your lifestyle." Tell me why you're out here today.
We have come here for the sake of our kids. We just don't want our kids to be dragged here. You know, they are the pure ones.
Yeah. What's it like to see this line of protesters, this mob of this rainbow mob of people who just aggressively disagree with you? Like, what goes through your mind?
Let them disagree, but you cannot change the nature. This is the nature of God. If you go against the nature of the God, you will see the disaster. We have 8 billion people, right? 8 billion people is because of man and woman. And if you have this trans, we will have none. There will be no children. How can they give birth? To give birth, we need a man and a woman. So now what?
Is that right?
Yeah, it's a man and a woman. Now, if they do if they teach small kids that children doesn't know, they don't even know their ABCD properly. Now, if I tell them this and that, because it's too much for them, it's too much. They cannot understand. Their thinking ability, everything, it will go.
I mean, it is disappointing. I've tried to talk to people on the rainbow side, and it seems like they don't want to have a conversation. I did get a conversation with a couple of them, and one of them was saying, well, I have a friend who has a kid who now believes they're the opposite gender, and now they're thriving. And I asked, how old? And they're 7. And so these people kind of believe that, children know best, not the parents.
My thing is, when you go to hospital, and when the child falls sick in the school, they call the parent. Your child is not well. Come and pick up the child. Why do they call us? Teacher should keep the child. When teacher knows best, teacher should keep the child, and she should take care of the kids. Why they call us? Come and take the child. Come and pick up the child. Now, how can they say that children knows best? They don't even know how to change their dress. We have to teach them. We have to tell them what to eat. We have to tell them what is a snack, what is good, bad. We have to teach them. But how they are just. I don't understand. This is demon.
It's the demon.
Yeah, it's a demon. This is the end time. We are living in the end time. Soon end will be there.
Have you lived in Canada long? Were you born here, or?
No, I was not. I'm an immigrant. It's been 10 years. I'm here.
And would you have ever imagined what you're seeing here in Canada today when you got here?
No. I have never thought this. I have never thought it. Many people, they are thinking of reverse immigration because, they cannot take this. Because many people they cannot speak. That's why they said, they cannot protest. So they are thinking, this country, we came here, we are thinking that, we have democracy here, we have the rights, unlike different countries, Asian countries where, we cannot practice our religion so openly. We thought we practice our religion here, nicely, but now they are stopping us. They are brainwashing our kids. The indoctrination is going on in the school. That's very bad. Let kids be kids and don't drag kids into their lifestyles. That's the thing.
No, yeah, absolutely. And I feel like there's, I grew up in Canada, and I feel like there's almost a popular sentiment among Canadians now. They're all kind of been quite liberal, and it's almost like having a family isn't even a thing on their radar that they care about. And we've been very divorced from our kind of main religion, which has been Christianity. Have you noticed that generally? What do you think of the native population of Canadians, and how they've kind of allowed this to happen slowly but surely?
I think it just started. they're just minute. We are in majority, but what they are doing, they are poking us, and they want to be they want to be heard. So what they are doing, they are just being very aggressive, and like if we ignore them, I think they cannot come forward. Now I cannot talk about the religion. Every religion, they teach one thing. God is about the God, and about our religious belief. Everybody says that man and woman, okay, they give birth to child. But these things in every religion, this is forbidden.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And what was I going to ask you now?
Let kids be kids.
Let kids
Let
be kids.
kids be kids. Don't rob their innocence.
Yes.
Children are innocent. Okay, please don't rob their innocence.
Absolutely. I was going to ask you about any of these politicians. Do you like any of these politicians? Jagmeet Singh, Trudeau, Pierre Poilievre, the Conservatives. Do you like any of them?
All are same. All are same. Cannot say, somebody like now Trudeau is in power, but others say, okay, we'll do this. But when they come in power, they do the same thing. All are same. I don't believe. I don't believe in now, because before we had democracy, but nowadays in this after 2020 or but this is cannot say anything. Like, all are same.
I totally agree with you. Thank you so much for your time. Can I do a fist bump, or is that haram? Or can we? Okay, cool. Thank you. Hey, how's it going?
Is this CP24?
No, this is just my YouTube channel.
Oh, okay.
Did you want to chat?
Yeah, sure.
Okay, cool. What's going on?
Not much. I was just thinking, this is kind of stupid. Like not to be rude, but like, what in school? Why do I need to know about pronouns and stuff? Like, when I grow up and I have kids, what do I want to tell my kids? When I was in school, I learned about how to ask people their pronouns. What do I want to say? I know how they taught me how to be successful in life. I always thought that. Yeah. People like their genders. Yeah. I don't. It's not that I don't like them. Like, I'll acknowledge them, but like, don't force me, and like, don't force the schools to teach us this, because we don't need to know much about this. We need to know about life, how to get further in life, how to move up and stuff.
I think that's a really good point, because a criticism I had is, school didn't really teach me how to pay my taxes. I kind of had to learn that after school, and that is a really good question. How does the pronouns help me make money? How does pronouns make me more successful? What goes across your mind when you see this like big sea of rainbow flags and these people are like very aggressive fighting for that?
I think it's kind of like, well, you don't have to fight for your gender, yes. We'll acknowledge it, but you don't have to force people to think. Like, yeah, if people make a mistake about your pronouns, it's no reason to get aggressive with them. Like,
yeah, absolutely. And there's a lot of, kind of like dishonest people out there, and they tell this horrible lie that people like you or your parents who are standing up for kids, that we're all fascists for questioning this stuff. And like, how does that make you feel?
To be honest, it makes me disappointed. Like, first they get mad when we don't see their pronouns, but then if we ask them for, they'd be like, oh, now you're just being sarcastic. I know you don't mean this.
Yeah. So either way, you lose, right? Either way, it's like. Yeah. Cool. Well, is there anything else you wanted to share about the protests or what's going on? Like what is it like in schools right now? Like, do kids agree with this stuff or not?
Most kids don't really agree with this. They just think if they have the facial features of a man, I'll call them a he. If they have the facial features of a woman, we'll call them a she. They don't really ask people for stuff because it's kind of nonsense, to be honest.
Yeah, cool. Well, hey, thanks a lot for your time, man. I appreciate it. What's your sign say? Education, not sexualization. Very cool.
What's your YouTube channel name?
My YouTube channel is my name, Greg Wycliffe. So if you go to gregthe.com, gregthe.com, it should forward to my YouTube channel. Yeah, awesome. Thanks a lot. Thanks for your time. Cheers. Amazing, young kid speaking. How's it going?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm Greg. I'm live on YouTube right now.
Oh, how many people?
We got around 300 live viewers right now.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, cool. Did you want to chat?
Yeah, sure.
Awesome.
Okay, I'm like a second-year student, right? And
university.
Yeah, university.
Cool.
And to be honest, I don't really understand why you guys put so much emphasis on how people want to identify. For example, I'm not frustrated by the fact by your outfit right now. You know, like you want to show the people your outfit.
Is this a Zoomer thing where you're just gonna make fun of what I'm looking like? Yeah. Okay.
We can compare.
Sure.
No. It's just like
Okay, you have better drip than me. Yes, I'm not as well dressed as you. Yeah.
Drip is just like normal clothes. I don't know. Like I wouldn't go to a protest like that I'm passionate about with like, you know, a tank top, a oversized blazer, and shorts and ankle socks. You know, like I don't think that's like very representative. You know.
You don't think I'm representing my side very well?
Like, you know, if I were to protest about a topic that I'm passionate about, I would like make sure that I look good, right? Not like I just woke up 2 hours ago. Yeah.
This is pretty funny.
I guess it's just like.
Do you have a political opinion, or are you just trolling me?
Well, before I came to university, I was a Marxist-Leninist, but now I'm kind of tamed. I'm like pretty much a social democrat. So yeah, university did a good job just making me less radical, actually. So that's surprising.
Okay, cool. And are you more partial to one side or another?
What do you mean one side? Like which side?
Like, are you more on like the rainbow side, where you know people should be able to teach kids about pronouns and how they can maybe transition, or you're more on the side of parents who are like maybe that's not appropriate?
You know, let people do what they do and don't indoctrinate kids with Christian ideology, especially the harmful ones that are bastardized Christian ideology.
Well, but speaking of harm, you know, if a kid decides to get to transition when he's young, then they can't go back. Right? And you're telling a kid who believes in Santa Claus that maybe you can change your gender.
Well,
you think that's a good idea?
You're teaching the Bible, which says fucking like stone kids, stone homosexuals.
You're cherry picking. Yeah.
But isn't it part of the Bible? Is the Bible?
There's a lot of things in the Bible, dude. But no, you have to defend your position, which is, I think, telling kids about all these ideas is a good thing.
And I think indoctrinating kids to stone people is also worse.
Where is that happening?
Where is that happening?
Where are kids being?
It's imperfect.
No. Where are kids?
Crazy.
Where are kids?
He thinks he's a.
You don't have the mic right now, so no one can hear you. Where are kids told to be stone people?
Where are kids like?
Because kids.
Listen, I don't read 1,000 pages of Bible. I have better things to do.
You're so cool, bro. You're so cool. You're so hip.
Bro, look.
No, but seriously, kids actually do transition and ruin their lives and cut their tits off, and it is damaging.
Listen. When you deny these services, their lives are also ruined. No.
It doesn't change the suicide rate, bro. It actually makes it worse. You don't even know the facts. You look stupid. You don't even know the facts.
I woke up an hour ago. I still look better than you. I got my coffee and I'm heading to class in 4 minutes.
Okay, good.
Yeah.
Good for you.
I hope you get. Do you have an education, like a post-secondary education, or it's okay if you don't? What do you study?
I studied media studies. Yeah. So you never answered my question about Christians. Where have you seen Christians stoning people? Where has that happened anytime recently? Because we're seeing kids transition today,
you know
right?
What? You know what? A lot of time has passed. Maybe you're past stoning, but Christians now in Parliament in the U.S. like banning books. Do you like censorship?
Well, dude, it's like porn. They're showing kids like pornography, basically.
How are they showing porn?
It's like, hey, I'm having sex and stuff like this.
Now I think about anal sex. Like, what is wrong with you to say that? That's literally.
Do you watch CNN? Where do you get your news?
CNN, MSNBC, Reuters.
Really?
Foreign Affairs, Journal of Democracy. Bro, I'm a poli-sci student.
Oh, wow. Okay, yeah. So you kind of have to go along with the indoctrination.
And, you know, I also watch Fox News for like entertainment, like laughs and giggles too, because I think their journalism is like so subpar. Fox News. So I still watch it to like just get my laugh in. At like what's it called? Like I know Tucker Carlson isn't in there anymore.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Okay.
Variety of sources. My favorite is probably Journal of Democracy.
Okay, cool. Do you think Justin Trudeau's doing a good job? Jagmeet Singh, who do you like?
That's a good question. Just not Pierre Poilievre.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I don't like him either.
Oh.
And I don't really like Fox News either.
You're PPC.
Yep, that's right.
That's even crazier. I would support Pierre over PPC.
What do you not like about PPC?
It's a right-wing populist group. Don't you care about democracy? They want to undermine democracy. Do you know what right-wing populism is? Or am I using too academic terms for you? Sorry, media studies, I forgot.
I think you've been indoctrinated, my friend. That's too bad.
Okay, well,
because
it was good talking to you. I have to attend my, what class is it? Oh, criminology class right now.
Okay, cool.
All right, but it was nice talking.
I'm not going to shake your hand. You've been pretty disrespectful. Thanks
anyway.
anyway. You'd love to think that.
Japanese, what's it called?
You're actually pretty good. You're pretty good with the gotchas and like the debating, so you might have a future. Unfortunately, you're kind of on the wrong side of history though, because you're, you don't believe in democracy. It's like you're actually you actually fell for that. That's so funny.
What's it called? Vaccine? Didn't he lose his one seat like that past election? Vaccine Bernier?
So, you're vaccinated, right?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course.
Did that ruin my brain? Vaccination ruin my brain, or?
Well, I mean, pro-democracy, pro-freedom, pro all of that. People were
anti-democratic, right? Like
no. Like the people at the trucker convoy were protesting, saying, "Hey, we don't like the vaccine mandates." A lot of the mandates have gone away, by the way. But in the democratic country of Canada, Trudeau was like, "I'm not going to fucking talk to these people." What's democratic about that? What was democratic about any of that?
You have to go to class in 10 minutes. I'd love to have this, but like, thank you for having me.
Yeah, when I pressed you on the democratic thing, it's like you got nothing. You got nothing. You got nothing, bro.
I have a job. Like you're jobless. Like I can tell.
That guy was like pretty slick with the words. I gotta say. Respect where it's due. This guy, no, dude, I was just getting roasted by some young student over there. Jeez. Hey, I'm just chilling. How are you guys?
Yeah, I recognize you.
Yeah, I do.
Okay.
Yeah, Jacko. What's up?
What is a trans kid?
I'm live right now. What's going on?
Yeah, what's going on?
We're here with the San, world famous comedian, very famous Toronto comedian.
You can see me in the Lakeshore Boulevard upper basement on Friday night at the Young Cucks. And follow me on Hassan Chaudhry Greg. But before you follow me, let me convince you first. Okay, so this is what I've noticed so far. I've been trying to talk to a lot of the trans people. Just trying to
Good luck.
Yeah, I've been trying to get some kind of a dialogue, and they got their weapons to like distract you. They got the horn, they got the fans, and then they just like try to overpower you by not having any kind of like civil dialogue at all. Like you try to talk to them like even a little bit, and it's just like either the horn comes out or the fan comes out, whatever, or they start yelling, or they bring the flag around and start covering up your cameras and whatnot. So I don't know how this will ever come to a conclusion. We need to bring more Muslims in this country.
Yeah. No, this protest was interesting because there was a lot more Muslim people out here.
Yeah.
And it's going to be a lot harder to like characterize the whole thing as fascist.
Right.
But they will anyway.
They'll try. Yeah.
So that'll hopefully kind of radicalize more Muslim Canadians, I guess, to like make some noise.
Yeah, I hope so, man. Because like I was in Mississauga before this.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. Today.
How was it?
I mean, there were literally like 5 counter protesters.
I had a feeling.
Yeah. So like that's when we're like, let's go to Toronto because there might be a better time. We'll have a better time there.
Right.
So better for content.
Better content.
Better content.
Sure.
Yeah.
Any highlights? Any screaming in your face or what?
Yeah, a little bit.
It sucks they don't want to talk.
That is pretty
It's so
annoying.
hard. It's like pulling teeth.
Yeah, it is very annoying. But it's like as soon as you mention anything about like hormone blockers to kids or anything, it's like it's over. Yeah. And most of them hide their face.
Yeah.
Which is like, if you believe in what you stand or whatever, or believe what you say, just show your face. Like everybody's gonna know who you are eventually. You know what I mean? What are you gonna be, Batman forever? Like Batman, but for trans kids. That's my new bit. I'm gonna make it.
Yeah.
Yeah,
man. What else is there to say? Really, I don't know.
It's you know what? I will say, like, they've been letting the trans people on that thing for a little too long because you try to get inside this thing. And Jared, one of the other comics, made a good point. He's like, because they all were about defunding the police, but look who wants to defund the police now. So.
Yeah, they want to defund the police, and then they also want the police to defend them. Yeah. There's a lot of other things, like, let kids be kids, and there's a lot of hypocrisies. I can't think of them all now.
Common sense at the end of the day, which a lot of these people are missing. in my opinion.
Yeah.
Yeah, and that's
It's very, oh, man. It's very characterized by insanity.
Yeah.
Hey, get in here. Get in here. We're live on the YouTube.
How many people got on the live right now?
Yeah.
How many got on the live?
300. Woo! This is Jared, and we're going to be doing a music gig at some point. Woo! So did you meet any trans kids? You got any numbers of trans kids? Are we gonna,
Yeah, I've been around just grooming. You know what I mean? Just kind of getting in vogue with like what's cool around here. It's a big mass meetup of pedophiles. You know what I mean?
Pretty much is what it is.
I just wish I had a mask. You know what I mean? So I could cover my identity because I don't want people knowing that I support groomers, right? So that's really. Yeah.
Did you manage to talk to anyone that has a rainbow flag or a trans flag?
Did I manage to talk to anyone that has a rainbow flag or that? Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
All right, I'm gonna try to get. Oh, did I miss some of that? This thing's been overheated. But I'm gonna try to get a few more interviews and probably wrap it up.
Yes.
But great to see you guys.
Yes. Great seeing you. Dart?
Dart? Awesome. Alrighty, I think we're gonna just do some more interviews. Probably do a handful more interviews and then wrap it up here. Let's see here. Are those people still in there? Yeah, I'm gonna go around the circle hill. Yeah, so as people were pointing out, like the trans movement or the rainbow people took over, and the cops are defending them. There's no mixing around. Oh, there's people are still in there.
That's an issue.
Okay, so I'm gonna try and go over there and interview those people. I really don't want this thing to overheat. It's very annoying. Yeah, those people are still in there. That's awesome. Is it that guy that I wanted to talk to? Is it possible to get in there? I just want to interview someone over there. There's so much room in there. There's so much room in there. Is there like a captain I can talk to try and?
Not happening. They are coming out. You can wait for them to come out.
This is very annoying. Very symbolic as well, by the way. Very symbolic as well. Very symbolic. How you're defending these people. You're defending the counter-protesters. Yeah, whatever, buddy. Whatever, bro. Whatever. Hey, excuse me. Do you know there was a minister that was in here? Oh, you're a couple? Oh, he's looking for me. Yeah, I'm looking for him. We started an interview and we got interrupted. I just want. I don't remember his name. He's a minister though.
Okay, there's a couple of them here.
Okay, cool. Did you want to chat? I'm live on YouTube right now. Okay, cool. Awesome. Yeah, I'm gonna wait in the shade just over here. Oh. So yeah, they've made a circle around. There are still some, pro-parental rights protesters inside the circle. Yeah, it's just a small group in there, but they're still stuck inside, or don't want to leave. I don't know. Kind of interesting. I don't really see the big deal. Like it's not like there's really a crowd control situation. Hey, I just want to interview this guy right here. That's all I want to do.
I'm just go around, or he can come out.
Dude, there is no round. I tried there.
He can come out if he wants to, but then he's gonna have to go around and get back in.
Can I please just step 2 feet over there and have a conversation?
You have to let everybody in, right?
So where's the entrance?
I've been told it's on the other side. If he wants
That's
to
what
be
the other guy on the
interviewed,
other side said.
He can come in. If you want to be interviewed, you can step out. You can talk to you, right? But I'm not letting him in.
The other side is what I'm
Yeah.
Or you can talk like this. Do your thing.
All right, sure. We'll talk in between the police. Yeah. So, How has your day been? What do you think about this police circle that's around these folks?
It's a little hilarious because it's more aggression towards the people who are standing for the youth and the children than the people who are standing for mutilation and castration, because that's what it is. What they call a medical procedure is mutilation, castration, and removal of genital parts. It's actually a crime. It's actually a crime.
Absolutely. And that does not come up enough, which is the worst case scenarios of what this indoctrination leads to, which is what you said: sterilization, castration, self-mutilation, and also, setting up the kid to be groomed by a pedophile. Let's face it, they're pushing all these sexual ideas. What do you think is going to happen when they go on the internet, when they hear about all these ideas? It's ridiculous. And like, we need to emphasize that, right?
Emphasize it a lot. I was just speaking with a gentleman or a woman. I don't know what he or she is over there.
But you had a conversation.
I was able to have a conversation before the officers came and ruined it, but I had a good 5-minute conversation. And he or she, I don't know, has gone through the process and removed and has gone through that. And in being honest enough, they were able to tell me that it was an internal battle. So all of this shouting and that is nice. But internally, she said, in my heart, she said, I tried praying, I tried different things. So it's an internal battle. So all this shouting is nice. All these gimmicks is nice. But inside, these people, they're suffering. They're going through things. They're suffering.
Yeah, and the story of detransitioners is just so horrible, because it's like, oh, I need to remove a tattoo, but it's way...
This is way worse than that. How do you go back now? Yeah. Once you remove such a part, a vital part, then what happens after? The mental, the antidepressants that she's on, the cognitive issues, it's wild.
Yeah. So, someone actually had a secular sort of perspective, which I thought was very powerful, which is like, we're kind of teaching kids that they're a mistake. They might have been born in the wrong body, maybe, right? It's very perverted, even without kind of adding a religious dimension to it. But
I heard one funny statement said that just because I was born in a certain sexual body part, it doesn't mean I'm that gender. I said, that makes no sense. So I was born a boy, I have boy parts, but it doesn't mean that I'm a boy. I have to figure it out. And I looked at the person and I said, do you believe what you're saying? And then they started to chant. So it's even hard for them to even have a logical conversation to explain or give a definition. It's sad. It's sad.
Yeah, the stats aren't on their side either in a lot of things.
Someone said 0.5% of children are born the wrong way. So I said, where'd you get the stats? It's on the internet. I said, where? Yeah. Where? There's a hospital.
Like, they don't have a sex life yet?
Simple question. A very simple question, but they can't answer it. So until now, it took maybe, I don't know how many people I asked, probably 30, and they all walked off. Nobody can answer the simple question. Because if you're holding a sign, you got to be able to define what you are. So one individual said he doesn't want to have children. He doesn't like children. So I said, then how are you protecting children? You don't want to have children. Threw a few cuss words in there. Said, don't like children. So then my question is, then how are you protecting children? You don't like them, you don't want to have them. Then he said, well, I can't talk to you. He went away and
it's a tough question.
I think it's a basic question, really.
Yeah.
If I don't like something, how am I going to fight for it? Yeah. If I don't like trees, why am I going to fight for trees? That doesn't make sense. That's my little reasoning. I'm not the smartest person in the world. So these are the kind of individuals that we have around us. People throwing up stats from Google or finding some quotes from somewhere I don't know, unaccredited things.
And the one thing they say, well, the gender ideology and this stuff, it's not sexual, right? And I just think that's such a lie, such bullshit. Like, how do you separate the two?
You can't.
But, yeah.
You can't. Someone was saying that their gender is not what they have on their body. I said, okay, what is it? I said, what I feel in my heart. So therefore, we should have queer education.
I did talk to one woman. I actually got to talk to a couple people on the rainbow side as well. And what she was saying was, I just got to cool this down. Overheats. She was saying, I have a friend who has a 7-year-old, and she said that she's the opposite gender now, and now she's thriving. And like, I believe the kid, and like, kids know best, basically, is what it comes down to. Kids know best. And obviously the people on our side are like, no.
They don't.
No.
The same child that's 7 years old that's still trying to figure things out, that just came out of their forming years and sponging years, the child that is still trying to get things together cognitively, that's the child you're going to leave to make such a decision that will affect them for the rest of their days? Impossible. Yeah. Impossible. Okay? Kids don't know best. That's why they have parents. Kids don't know best. They need to be assisted and guided.
Absolutely.
Yes.
Yeah. So finally, this is kind of a harder question. You're really well spoken, but these protests have happened before, and there's been a lot more like Muslim parents and religious parents coming out to this, and they're saying, the one guy had a message that was, we disagree with your lifestyle. Counter protesters don't show up. We're going to start protesting pride events. And, it was kind of like an attack not just on the whole trans thing, but it was also like the gay community as a whole. And I kind of welcome that because it's like, you know what? That rainbow flag, in my opinion, represents thy must not criticize anything an LGBTQ plus says or does.
Today it represents that, yeah.
Yeah. And it's like its own religion because if you disagree with that, you get called all these names and all that. But, when are we going to start? When is it okay to start criticizing ideas and lifestyles and things that have come from the LGBTQ plus? What's your take on that?
Because they're becoming not just a community, an army, and trying to be a force, it is becoming challenging to even debate anything. You even say the acronym the wrong way, and as one of the ministers did, it becomes a fight. So we should be able to refute it and rebuttal it. We should be able to, whether it's a Christian, whether it's a Muslim. You come to find out this is not a religious thing. Everyone stands for a man, a woman coming together having a child. So anyone should be able to question them and ask. Because if you come out and say this is what I believe in, we should have the right to be able to ask you what you believe in, the reasons, definitions. It should be a right. They shouldn't get mad at that. If you're coming out openly, we should be able to ask you. I think that should be allowed.
Yeah, absolutely. I want to get into the political side a bit. Did you see I'm going to hand this to you in a second, the leaked Zoom calls of the union workers? Did you see this or hear about this?
I heard of that. I didn't see it. No.
So they were essentially saying anyone like yourself or anyone like the pro-parental rights are fascists and just hateful people. We need to stand up to hate. I mean, obviously that's very grotesque and dishonest, but how do you think we deal with this? People are afraid to be called names. Are you afraid to be called names? How do you think we deal with such dishonest opponents who try to call us the worst of the worst for simply standing up for kids?
I don't think it's pardon. I don't think it's something that we should be afraid of. Me myself, I'm not afraid of being called anything. I have my senior pastor with me, and he's an eminent peace ambassador for religious safeguards and with the UN. And right now, I mean, people are going to say whatever they want to say. They're going to call us whatever we want to call. But the truth is the truth. The fact is the fact. No matter what the meetings and the Zooms are, if someone comes out with this narrative, we're not fascists for debating or trying to rebuttal what they're claiming. It doesn't make us wrong. This is not Nazi Germany. Simply, if you come out and you say that this is what we believe in for children, this is what should happen, the curriculum system, all of what they're saying, we should be able to rebuttal without being called any names, because we're not calling them names. I have to be careful if I call a woman, a man nowadays. It's quite sad. So we're not calling anybody names, but yet we're getting all the names in the book. We're getting called haters and children, all of this stuff. So it's quite a crazy time. It's quite a crazy time that you can't give a general opinion. I can't even ask anybody a question. It's sad.
Absolutely. What do you think of Jagmeet Singh, Justin Trudeau, Pierre Poilievre? Do you like any of the politicians or parties in this country?
Do you know we were in Ottawa Monday? Monday we went to Ottawa to do a silent protest for the refugee crisis, and I actually like the Poilievre guy. That was my first time seeing him, and I don't know much about him. I actually like him. He stands for good, some good things, and the political side is more so the ambassador side. I don't know if you allow him to speak on.
Sure. I believe. Thank you for this audience. I believe that everything should start with leadership.
Okay, you want to go?
Number one, there is a sense of protection for these individuals who believe that it is their nature to become who they believe they want to become, and nobody is fighting it. Our biggest concern is for the kids who can't take decisions, because they are in school to manage the nation. We are believing in future leaders. If there should be anybody to teach these kids how to become gender in any form, it should be the parents, because we are the source.
Yes.
We are the best teachers.
Yeah.
We pay the teachers to be in school to teach our children for the crisis we are facing, like housing crisis. You are teaching these kids right now on sexual issues, and when there is a housing crisis, who and how would they solve it? We're not going to sleep in sex. So how long do we have sex?
We're not going to sleep in sex. I like that.
We have to teach them how to manage the economy. We are having climate crisis. We are having all type of crisis. These kids, even let's come back to our normal day-to-day activities. We have these individuals who are even protesting, who don't have a job, but they finish school. So we are not creating jobs, we are not creating solutions. We are adding to the problems to confuse these kids who have to take a decision.
Yeah, no, a quote I have on that is, we're not exactly going to the moon or Mars with this ideology, this gender ideology. We're kind of stuck here on Earth, just arguing.
So we have to also take the testimony of those who did the transitioning, and now they have regretted it, and they want to come back. And they are asking, if somebody would have told me, the whole thing is about deception. There is a narrative out there that makes you people think that if I change how I look, I'll become better. Then they find out that they change how they look, but the look is not the outer look, it is a mindset. If it is not a mentality, your reality never changes. So we have these challenges going on. Who tells them the truth? And the point is that they are not even ready to hear the truth. They have one side of deception, and they believe that that deception is their weapon to fight, which makes them ignorant of any decision they are taking. Now, to come back to our prime minister, politicians, what is their take on this? If we're looking for a job and we don't have any grant to do research for what we want to do, and you telling us that if you become a gay, you have $7,000 protection for you. If you want to do the transgender thing, you have subsidy for you, and it's easy. Why would people decide to become like that? So we encourage it. For example, those in Africa have heard that there is a protection here, and they are coming for that protection. But guess what? We have no houses for them. So now the government has put this narrative out there, and it is confusing the people, thinking that, look, it's the best way to live, to have the, if you take the president, the next people protected are these people we are talking about right now. This community, are they community yet? This community they say they are, we are talking about now. The last people who are, so the first people who should have been protected are kids, but now we've removed the protection from the kids, and the kids have no protection at all. Parents can't have their right. It's a pity. I mean, we are in a place that we can't do anything else than to keep on voicing out, advocating for them until it comes into a reality that, look, you believe what you believe in, everybody keep their belief, let's keep our faith, don't force yours on mine, because I'm not forcing mine on you.
Yeah. So one last thing, when it comes to this issue of protecting kids, how big of a role do you think religion and Jesus Christ plays in this?
I think religion plays a big role, because hearing some of the testimonies of them, the first thing you hear is that I tried to pray, no one had an answer for me. So as a result, then I guess they deviated from the faith, so to say. So some people, I guess they were believers. So now you're hearing them say things like, well, I have my own faith, I have my own God. So it's possible that religion did fail some people. And religion is keeping one in a box. It's not about having a religion, it's about having a relationship. And you said the right character, right person, right name, right Lord. You have a relationship with the Lord Jesus, it's different than having a religion and going to a church.
I like that.
So it's a gap. So some tried and it failed for them because they were doing it within that religious box, and that doesn't help anybody. It doesn't help anybody. Yeah.
Awesome. Thanks so much for your time. Did you want to plug anything? I heard you're a minister. Did you want to promote something online? Let the people know.
Yeah. So we are so excited that we're able to come out here and be connected with everybody that's watching on the stream. The last 3 going on 4 months, we've been helping out the refugee crisis. We got about 42 refugees on our site at Church Miracle Arena in Vaughan at Western and Teston.
Refugees from where?
Oh, from Uganda, Kenya, Ethiopia, Nigeria, a lot of the refugees and asylum seekers. Yep. So we're the only place now in the York region outside of the Avid Hotel that has the Ukrainian family that has the refugees on site. So we've been doing a lot of work with that. Some of the stuff is online with the news, and everyone has been a blessing in coming out the last couple of weeks, giving donations and all that good stuff. So in life, it's about relationship, dialogue, like I'm having with you. So whenever you see someone and you're able to help them, whether they're yelling with a rainbow flag or they're on the floor, any moment you can have to help somebody out, I say you should take it. Because teaching is not in a class. Teaching comes in moments. So that right there, conversation can save that person's life. So I just would advise everybody as they're connected to this wonderful stream that you go out and you be a better person today. So God bless you.
Hey, thanks, man.
Thank you so much.
Appreciate it.
This is a good thing you're doing. Well, let me get your contact. So
Yeah, sure. You're Toronto based?
We were in Toronto, and then we bought the land in Vaughan, right by Western and Teston. We got over a good large.
I kind of wanted to ask you about the housing crisis.
Oh, it's bad right now.
Yeah.
We've been
what's the solution here?
So we've been, I don't know if I should say fortunately or unfortunately, because nothing has come out, but we've met from the regional level, our local mayor who canceled the last visit on us.
So they're giving you some lip service sort of thing?
Some is an understatement. For the last 3 months, we've been getting a lot of lip service. A certain MPP has helped out in connecting us some. So what we've done is, though we're housing the people there, to sleep is one thing, but when you wake up, what are you going to do? You need work permits. Some of them have good backgrounds, they come from good homes, they're fleeing because of different situations. So they don't want to come and be a burden to society, they want to do something. So transitional homes, rapid homes, whatever you want to call them, the containers they're making homes, it's such a good answer and solution. We actually purchased a few of them. They don't need permits if they're not past a certain size. It can fix so much issues and it don't cost that much at all. So that's one of the things that can help solve and to relieve that housing burden. But it seems that some of the levels of government don't want to allow that because they don't gain too much from that. It solves issues, but it doesn't really, give them anything on the other end. But is it about giving you something or is it about helping people? That's the question we have to ask. So, it is a crisis.
Awesome, yeah. So I can give you my website, my Instagram, whatever you want. What do you want?
I'll write down your Instagram and find your website.
Looks like the crowds have mostly dispersed here, so we'll probably wrap it up here real quick, guys. Yeah. My name is Greg Wycliffe, so Greg space Wycliffe, Greg Wycliffe.
Okay. Greg Wycliffe. Sorry.
Yeah, you got that. Yeah, you can add me on Facebook, add me on Instagram. Yeah.
Same name on Instagram?
Yeah, one word.
Okay.
Greg Wycliffe all together. Cool, man. And what was your name again?
My name is Isaac.
Isaac. Yeah, pleasure to meet you.
Nice meeting you, Greg.
Pleasure to meet you.
Nice meeting you. So I'll connect with you after.
Yeah.
Visits.
Sounds good. Sounds good. Cheers, guys. Cheers. All right. All right. Hope you guys enjoyed that. To support the stream, to support me and my independent journalism, you can go to gregwycliffe.com. There's a lot of donation options there. I really appreciate it. Thanks for bearing with me. The phone was overheating a lot. And yeah, we'll give one last kind of look at the protesters still. Actually, there's actually quite a lot of people over here still. Maybe it's not over yet, guys. Maybe it's not over yet. All right, legal observer.
Is he the union rep? You must be this guy here.
Hey, I'm live on YouTube. Does anyone want to chat? You want to share your thoughts, anyone?
It's about the children. Yeah, exactly. Why are you guys over here counter protesting this?
It's about
and
you just can't get over
Get back to work, man.
Get over
We
yourself.
paid for
Build a bridge.
Get back to work. Get out of here.
Do your balls work? Do your private parts work? That means that someone cut them off.
Shame on you. Work. Get to work. Get to work. Leave our kids alone. Leave our kids alone! Leave our kids alone! Leave our kids alone!
Let them do what they want. You're drunk. You're fucking 50, dude. Go home. Go fuck your wife. Something useful. Or I'll fuck her.
Hey guys, I'm live on YouTube. Anyone want to chat? I'm live on YouTube. Do you want to say hello? You good? Good? Anyone?
I'm going to get it.
Okay. Cool.
You should go lie down.
Hey guys, I'm live on YouTube. Do you want to share a message with the people about the protest?
No thanks. That's okay.
Okay, cool. Hey guys, I'm live on YouTube. Does anyone want to share their thoughts on the...
I don't think any of us are ready for that. Thank you.
Okay, cool. Hey guys, I'm live on YouTube. Does anybody want to share their thoughts about the protest? No? Okay, cool. I'm live on YouTube. Did you want to share your thoughts?
No, I don't.
Okay, cool. Cool.
I'm sure, of course you are.
It's all about the snipes.
I'm gonna tell.
All right, this is mostly dissipated here. Kind of just people yelling at each other. Yeah, thanks for watching, guys. Thanks for watching. Maybe we'll try to get one more interview. I'm live on YouTube. Did you guys want to chat and share your thoughts on the protests? Let's try to get one more. I want to end on a good note there. Hi, how's it going?
Hi, fine. How are you?
I'm good. I'm here documenting the protests. You're well dressed today.
Thank you.
Did you want to share your thoughts on with the people back home? Or?
Do you mind me asking what platform you report?
Just from my YouTube channel, Greg Wycliffe. I have about like 20,000 subscribers. Okay. Subscribe if you're watching.
I suppose my main comment is just disappointment on the level of...
Can I record this?
Sure. Thank you for asking.
Yeah. 1 second, let me plug this in. And I'm going to stay because this overheats sometimes. All right, I found this dapper gentleman. You were saying you're just disappointed or something. You were.
Yeah, I don't work far from and just was mostly curious to see the dialogue happening. And my main comment would be disappointment on the lack of dialogue. I did speak to one person and trying to hear them out and had a good conversation. But I mean, if you look right behind you, I think that is more representative. Someone has been yelling blah, blah, blah over someone else for the last probably 6 minutes straight. And I don't see how that's obviously productive at all. And if my assessment, I'm by no means an expert on this, but my assessment is that these people are not arguing the same point, by which I mean it's not like one group is in favor of using pronouns, the other is not. I think there seems to be a lot of they're arguing different things and they're not even aware of it, and they're just being quite rude to each other without knowing it or being very productive. It's disappointing.
Yeah, it's been largely. I've tried to talk to people on both sides, and it is harder to talk to the rainbow people I found. They seem to be a lot more organized in terms of like the way they showed up. They're the counter protesters, and they showed up. They encircled the whole place at the beginning, and I did get a couple conversations in there, but. It definitely is hard to kind of like cross the aisle and like have any sort of dialogue, but. And I think part of that is because it is an issue that's connected to like a lot of different things in a way, and there's just like a radical difference in the way people perceive reality at this point. Like one difference, for example, is the rainbow side believes the kids know best, and then the other side basically say no, parents know best. That's kind of one difference I noticed. Do you want to share any thoughts on that?
Again, like it's. I think if rooting it in like specific policies is most productive, to the point of like children know best. The only firm policy that I'm aware of that's currently being discussed is whether a child identifies under different pronouns or different names at school. Should that information be shared with their parents at home? And personally, in my my belief, understanding is that wouldn't be productive, that it could be potentially harmful for a child if there's non-supportive care at home. So in that regard, I think children know best, but there's other issues where, of course, where children are less informed and might not know best. But yeah, I think just anchoring it in specific language, specific policy choices is the way to orient a conversation.
Yeah. I think it's a lot. There's a lot to get into really on the topic. Because there's like the other argument that the parents make is like you're sexualizing our kids, like you're popularizing these terms, lesbian kid, gay kid, trans kid, and when you ask these people like what's a trans kid, it's like, well, it's someone who says they're trans, right? And it's like, so what does that mean exactly? Like they decide that they're trans one day? Like it does kind of present a lot of questions that I think parents have the right to be concerned about, because I thought I wanted to be like Superman when I was young, right? So I don't know if you have any thoughts on that, but
point taken. It's confusing. I would push back that I don't think feeling non-identify with your biological sex, I wouldn't say it's quite the same comparison as thinking you're a superhero. But point taken that you can be under different impressions at one age than you are at another age.
I think the point with Superman is like you don't know what you're talking about because you're 7.
Sure.
Right.
And to a complicated issue on irreversible care, whether that be hormones or surgeries, I think that's a really tough topic, and I can totally understand why a parent might be concerned about that. And I guess that's what I'm getting at, is if that's your position, I would encourage someone to have a more precise sign, and we can get into it of exactly what you're talking about, because my impression is this community thinks that they're just being hated on generally, and it's against safe spaces in general, and this side is thinking the other side is only indoctrinating, not trying to simply promote a safe space or safer care at home. You know what I mean?
Yeah, I do. Speaking of precise signs, there's this guy named Billboard Chris. Have you heard of this guy?
No.
He's like a solo activist who's been like very popular, but he has signs that say children cannot consent to puberty blockers. And also like a man or a dad is like a male who protects his kids from gender ideology. Like he has kind of like very specific things when it comes to that. He's actually having a protest on Friday in Toronto about the same thing, believe it or not. But it's obviously a popular issue. Anyway, any other thoughts you wanted to share before we get going?
No, just encourage people to be respectful and try and think about what you're thinking about, and trust that everyone else is trying to be a genuine person as well.
Yeah, okay, cool. Thanks, man. I appreciate it. Appreciate it.
That's fun.
Yeah, thank you. I just love when people have balanced opinions that are safe and very diplomatic. I love when it's so balanced and diplomatic. All right, we're definitely going to wrap it up here. Guys, thanks so much for watching. Again, if you want to support my work, you can go to gregwycliffe.com. It was a good one. Had some good conversations. Thankfully, there was no violence or anything. And thanks again for watching, guys. Love you. And children can't consent to puberty blockers. I'm going to be live on Friday at a similar protest, a Billboard Chris protest on Friday, basically protesting the same thing. And we will see you then. Oh, I'm going to be live tomorrow actually on Controlled Opposition with Karima Saad. So that should be very, very fun. We'll be talking about #HateGate. So yeah, that's exciting as well. Tune into that tomorrow, 8 p.m. We'll talk to you guys later.